Well, here we are again. There's a nice little mix of episodes today. There's a little bit of comedy, and a little bit of horror, and a lot of horror tragedy.
Oh, you
There's a lot of tragedy today.
Yeah, nice. Oh, you even did the press play.
Yes.
Press play signal.
Oh, by the way, if you're new to the streams, here's what you do. You load up your own copy of the episode, and then you sync to the timestamp, and we're going to count down when we press play, and then you click play. That's it. That's all there is to it.
Okay.
For new folks in YouTube, because sometimes I get comments, it's like, oh, the screen's all blurry. How are we supposed to watch this? It's like, come on, man. It's in the description.
Still going to be stuck to the old way for right now.
That is.
Or going to have to keep ahead.
And yeah, for the Discord folks, the countdown, after I switched it to have the 3-second broadcast delay, it wasn't working properly. It was not showing on screen the last 3 seconds, and then the first 3 seconds of the timestamp, and it doesn't really matter, but it bothered me. So I had to go and make my own program to do that, because you can't just have like a default countdown thing. If you write to a text file, that's the issue. Most things, how the countdown works, it writes the time to a text file, and then OBS reads the text file, but for some reason that doesn't work, no matter how I try to implement it. So now it's just a screen capture of an actual program that's doing a countdown, and that works.
What program did you make this in?
I made it in Game Maker Studio 2, the same thing I made my little Game Jam game in.
I was going to say the old countdown.
The old countdown was one I downloaded called Snaz, which it's pretty good, but it wasn't working with the specific broadcast delay that I had set up because it writes to a text file, and apparently OBS doesn't like that. Anyway, the first episode today, so everyone can get queued up. The first episode is Treachery, Faith, and the Great River, DS9 Season 7, Episode 6? 7? Treachery, Faith, and the Great River. So yeah, I can now press 1 to do the 1 minute timer. I can press 5 to get the 5 minute initial timer.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's nice that I don't have to keep typing in 0100 or 0530 every time I want to change it.
Yeah, okay. Nice.
This is the one with the desk, yes. Lorenzo he gave the desk to. Lent it to. He didn't give it to him. Chief of Operations of Dagos Prime. And I don't know why I remember that. I don't know why I know he's Chief of Operations Dagos Prime, but I do. It's not important. We never even meet Lorenzo. Anyway, how's the weather? Chief Willoughby. Oh yeah, Chief Willoughby. He's in this episode too. Yeah, I don't remember who he was though. I remember Lorenzo was Chief of Operations Dagos Prime. Who's Chief Willoughby? Was he the first guy in the Dominoes?
Yeah, he's the one who has I think the phaser emitter.
Okay, he has the phaser emitter. Well, we don't need a phaser emitter.
This is an O'Brien Must Suffer episode that's actually kind of funny.
Yes. We get a little bit of comedy. I mean, there's some sad bits in this episode, but the parts that I remember are comedy episode. And then it just starts getting sad in the next two. That's going to be unfortunate. Klingon Alzheimer's is episode 2, then lots of people getting shot is episode 3.
Yeah, Klingon, that one it's a little bit sad, but also Kor gets to go out in a blaze of glory.
He does. So
and he's the last TOS Klingon in Deep Space Nine that we see.
Yep, Kang and Koloth both died in season 2, I think. In the episode with the albino, who I still am not sure what species he is. It might be an albino Klingon, I don't know.
That's the prevailing theory, that he's an albino Klingon who's just pissed at Klingons because he was rejected.
Anyway, 10 seconds to press play. Everyone be queued up to Treachery, Faith, and the Great River. And press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Play. Look at that, it didn't disappear. Look at that perfect timestamp.
Nice.
What the heck does
Not that
Baltar
I
have to do
don't-
with anything? Who's...
Not
are
that
we
I
talking
don't
about...
like the other countdown. Not that I don't like the other countdown, but this one is actually a lot better than the other one.
What,
a
what,
bit
So
different.
the
Nothing
actor
big.
who plays Kor was Baltar in the original Battlestar Galactica.
Oh. Okay, the one with the wizard. Yeah. Okay.
The actor's name is John Colicos, and he is like a go-to
I
villain.
cannot see anything on the YouTube stream.
Oh, yeah, let me blur it. I mean, you can't really see much of anything anyway, but yes, blurred.
Right,
There we
but
go.
the people on the YouTube stream want to watch it, even though it's blurred out. If they want to.
Is this
It
a
is
good
helpful for
massage
thinking.
technique? In my experience, you generally want to apply pressure to a small area at a time.
That's true.
Well, we don't know what the density of his little blob part was there. It could have been like hard in some spots and soft in others.
Hmm.
Maybe. We do know he can alter his mass and density somehow by space magic.
Which is a problem.
That sounds like a trap to me.
Anybody won't be here next week.
So this is something that I know out of universe why they're doing it, but all shows do it. Where two people who are clearly intimate with each other, for some reason the woman always has the sheet pulled up. I was like, she doesn't have to. They're clearly a couple. Is it chilly on the station? Is there a breeze? You know, if you were on the station and you noticed a slight breeze, how long would it take you to realize that something is terribly wrong? Because hypothetically, I guess there's well, not ventilation, but circulation. They got fans, I guess. You would need fans, wouldn't you? Otherwise, the air's going to be really still and stagnant. It'd be awful.
Eventually.
All right, yep, here's the A plot. Getting the new stabilizer. Everything else is secondary. Oh, Nox listening in. He's already plotting.
Are you telling me that O'Brien can't just grab a few spare parts and slap together a new stabilizer?
Are you telling me you
he's
can't
just
just
trying to make
replicate
things
a new
harder.
stabilizer?
He's trying to make things harder than it has to be, so by that he's saying that it would be there at least 3 weeks.
His first name is Chief. Chief. You just said it.
First thing is he's the chief.
He's the
Chief.
chief. Chief Willoughby. Willoughby.
I think his first name's Edgar.
Hey. Does Nog have time to form a relationship with Willoughby? Does he have time? He seems busy. Leave everything to Nog. It'll all work out.
I mean, he gets a ship named after him eventually, so we know
Yeah?
he's
I mean,
apparently
it
pretty
could be a
solid
different
dude.
Nog.
True.
Maybe Nog inspires a whole generation of Nogs. Maybe it's a very popular name.
True.
No, it's the same Nog. Oh, hey, it's the same cave set. Look at that. Nice pile of rocks in the background. That's where they keep them.
We're making the spaceships.
Yep. That's not Golru's soul. It was a trick. Not a founder.
There we go. Uh,
Why would they put Golrusol to death? Why would they do that?
Because he was an informant.
But he was a cool guy. Fun to hang out with. Everybody loved Golrusol.
actually, yeah, he actually was cool. Actually was cool.
Does this even count as defection from the founder's point of view? Because he's just going to another founder.
Yeah, but it's a founder that's not friendly.
Yeah. I don't think they really care if Odo's not friendly. Well, they do care a lot, actually. But they don't consider him a traitor for it. He's just on the wrong side.
Yeah, the founders never really seemed too concerned about like military intelligence and all those kinds of risks. They're just kind of like, do the thing, get it done, and I don't care how it gets done.
Yep. So, we get to see two Weiyun clones in this episode. And they say that one is defective, one is working, but I'm not convinced of that. I think they're both defective.
Yeah.
Because the other Weiyun clone, he's got to be defective to be willing to kill a shapeshifter.
Hmm.
Something ain't right there. So, how about
Treachery tax.
that war in the Middle East? I don't know. What do people talk about? What's going on over in Azerbaijan? Where is Azerbaijan? Is that how you pronounce Azerbaijan?
Yeah.
It is, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
Yes.
That's Azerbaijan.
Where even is it? What
It's
is
on the
Azerbaijan?
Caspian Sea, borders Georgia and Armenia, and Russia, I believe.
Oh, the show's back. Okay.
Capital is Baku.
No, it's not Rene Azerbaijan. That's not his name. No. You know, this might actually be the same cave that Odo met the Cardassian traitor before. The informant. That might have actually been Gul Rusul, I don't remember.
Oh yeah.
But this might canonically be the same cave on Cardassia.
I mean,
He did meet Gul Rusul here at one point.
Mom keeps looking like.
It was the episode where
The one where he was
Garrett
revealing
was-
the Romulan Cardassian fleet?
Yeah, Garrick was blowing up his own shop, and Oda was
Yeah.
trying to investigate who did that, and Rusul was the one he met here in this spot, because he was standing behind him high up on one of the ledges.
On the ledge, yes.
Yeah,
The ledge where everyone stands when they're being
the
dramatic.
ledge.
Except that time
The
he was
ledge,
backlit, so we
drop.
couldn't see his face.
Even more dramatic.
Yes. Backlighting is the most dramatic kind of lighting.
Mm-hmm.
he was played by an actor who did a lot in Star Trek. I just don't remember who. Joseph Ruskin is his name. He had 6 roles in Star Trek.
Any good ones?
He was in the original series, a guy named Galt in the episode Gamesters of Triskelion. He played the elder advisor in the House of Quark, the Klingon that
The
it's
one
like
that challenges Quark?
No, it's the older one, the guy with the gray hair.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah. Cardassian informant Gul Rusol. He plays a Sona officer in Insurrection. He plays some Vulcan guy in a Voyager episode, and he is a Suliban in Enterprise.
No, the ship Skakari was the Orinoco. I don't know why they would call a ship Odo Way. Who would call a ship that? That's a dumb name for a ship. Edgar Jr., age 5. That's still 2 weeks sooner than Cisco wanted it. Well,
True.
not before Cisco wanted it, but before you thought you could get it. You could steal it. We could have a heist episode about getting a graviton stabilizer.
They just replicate one?
Yeah, I don't know why they can't replicate it.
I mean, yeah, because you can use the replicator for pretty much
The
anything.
replicators solve so many problems, and it just ruins the dramatic tension if they acknowledge it.
Yeah.
No, Chief? I feel like you're not allowed to do this.
Of course,
I
he
feel
has
like this
his
is gonna
code.
get
He
him
can
in
do what he
trouble.
wants.
Because he's the chief?
Yeah.
Is he a Cylon?
Yeah.
Find out in 10 seasons.
With a
Don't
security
say the
officer.
G word.
At least Wei-Yun's trying. He's trying to make Odo comfortable. He's a nice guy. Everybody loves Wei-Yun. Come on.
He's just
Yeah.
trying to worship.
What do you mean again? You've never spoken with this Odo. With Odo. You don't know him. You're a clone. Wait, why
Imposter.
wouldn't there be 2 Wei-Yuns? Why don't they just have a million Wei-Yuns?
He's an imposter.
Imposter? Amogus?
No.
Amogus?
Yes, a tragic accident. So Wei-Yun 5, I believe, was the guy who took over the station. I do love how both Wei-Yuns are in agreement that Damar's a traitor here. They might hate each other, but they can bond over their hatred of the Cardassians.
Okay.
Not even gonna touch the obvious double entendre. Okay.
Why does he have a termination implant in his brainstem? When would he activate this, hypothetically? Are all my videos meant to be jokes? I'll leave that to your discretion. Don't worry about it.
No, your radars are.
I can
Yeah.
confirm
Yeah, jokes.
that some videos I don't change anything, but I don't care to specify which ones. At least one video there was no change.
The sock video?
Yes, the sock video. I pulled that straight out of Star Trek.
Oh, okay. You're not even including stitching together.
I mean, there was one that was just like basically a complete deleted scene. Ryan's silence kind of confirms that I nailed it.
Wait, which one?
There's a deleted scene that you basically turned into an intake.
Did I? Oh, the one with Worf and Troy.
Yep.
Okay. You're defective, but that doesn't make you a bad person, Wayun. Maybe it's a good mutation. No, Odo. We all know you love Wayun. Not romantically, but you know, he likes being worshipped. He likes having someone who looks up to him. For all his life, people have been treating him as an outcast. He's the weirdo who turns into chairs. And Wayun loves it.
Wayun.
He would love to watch Odo shapeshift around the room. I wonder... Is this the same Wayun we see later on? Or is he executed by the Founder for trying to kill Odo?
No, this one dies later on this season from
Does he get his
Worf
neck
Can't
snapped?
snapping his
That's a
neck.
bit good.
Do we know for sure that's the same Wayun?
Yes, because Damar toasts him.
Okay.
Says to Wayun 7.
Oh.
Oh.
Alright. So he got away with it. As usual, I'm still looking at Wayun's eyes, trying to see if his contacts shift. Right now, they're okay. Right now, they're in place. I know in this episode, Runabout Wayun does have his contacts go all screwy. Not yet. Later. Why do we have to send the Jem'Hadar? Can we not send a Cardassian ship?
That's how you can tell a defective way in. The contacts start going everywhere.
Oh, that explains it. Hang on, let me open up videoideas.txt.
You're welcome, I guess.
Wayun clones have defective Wayun clones have defective contacts. There we go. Okay, got it. It has been noted.
Runabout
Can live
Belinda
with that.
asked.
Why is this guy pushing Kanar so hard? He's like a narc.
No, it's just because Wayun is completely certain that Damar murdered the previous Wayun. And Damar's just pushing it like, hey, you want to drink some? It's totally not poison.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a dominance thing, like just trying to get him to do all the things he said.
I think it's probably both.
I would agree
Though
with
I don't
that.
know why Wayun would care. He's immune to Kanar poison. We already established that.
Yeah, but Wayun basically, like Damar, slows that investigation. He dismisses it. It's like half implied in the episode, the way I would read it, that Damar did kill the prior Wayun for like saying something.
Where is the captain's desk?
Hi, Kevin.
Oh, hi. Just
Nice.
wondering about you.
Hey.
There is no way Chief O'Brien's allowed to give out that code to just whoever.
It's his code. He does what he wants with it.
It's
I
not
think,
his. He uses
like,
it, but
There's so much authorization required to be like a chief of, fixing stuff. This is
He
so
just gave
awkward, though.
Nog admin privileges.
Yeah, don't do that. How did he even
know.
get the desk out of that room?
Yeah, it's crazy.
He just
Did he beam
transports
it out?
obviously. Come on.
He,
Yeah.
he stole a runabout and beamed the desk onto the
Just
runabout,
on a site-to-site
transported it to Al
transport.
Lorenzo.
And this story is crazy. Like, so, and by the I think Damar did kill Wayun.
He totally did, 100%.
No, Damar's an honorable man. He wouldn't do such things.
This whole episode is just an adventure game in film
I was gonna
form.
say it's just Zelda. Yeah.
You're acquiring a set of objects and setting up a chain of dominoes. So eventually you reach the last person on the chain.
Ooh.
And you give them something, they give you something, you give it to the next person, then to the next person, then the next person, and eventually,
It's the same idea that Jake and
I love
Nog
this.
do when they do the river of continuity. Yeah.
the Great Material Continuum is in this episode. I think you're thinking of the No J Consortium.
Thanks.
Actually, yeah, you know, if this was an adventure game, he would have just used the grab icon on the desk and it would have gone into his pocket.
We should have an eBay like this. Well, barter.
Oh.
That is what eBay is.
Mhm.
Also, I like when I was sort of talking over it, but when Nog first mentions the Great Material Continuum, O'Brien's first question is, who are they? Because the only continuum
right.
he knows is the Q
It's the
continuum.
cue. Yeah. I love that speech so much because that is like how libertarians actually talk in real life. It's great.
Yeah, it's true.
He
He goes,
very florid.
it's true. He totally goes Milton Friedman on us for a second.
Nog would definitely believe that taxation is theft.
Oh, absolutely.
But is it? I just
You know,
realized-
taxation is a bad word on Frankenaut.
Yeah, the T
Did you
word.
say a T?
I mean, you have to give up something, so it's not theft if you give it up for something better.
I mean,
but anyway, this is Wayun's best episode, I think, because he has to play like 3 of himself. Like he has to play Wayun mourning for Wayun also, which is pretty intense. Like, and you see him you see how they worship the founders so clearly because here the whole episode he's like, Odo, you have to survive. But at the end too, the Wayun and Cardassia is pretty obsequious.
The Wayun on Cardassia is a jerk.
Hmm?
Tries to murder a founder.
Yeah, with Damar. But see, they're in charge of running the war, so
There's one way to win the war. There's one way to win the war that is actually how the founder says herself that Odo means more to her than the entire quadrant. And then she follows through on that in the finale. If they just got Odo on side, that matters more. That's more important.
Yeah.
It's strictly worse for them to kill Odo to win the war.
True.
I don't know if Odo has time for this, but hypothetically, he could go out into space and just say hello.
That's true.
But then there is the issue of Jem'Hadar ships don't have windows. They have the visor things, and does that work the same? Would they be able to tell that's Odo?
So he would have to get out, turn into gel, and spell the words Odo on the shuttlecraft, and then they would be able to see that Odo's on board. Save our gelatinous souls.
What kind of trash Jem'Hadar warship loses to a shuttle? How does that happen?
It's a runabout. It's a runabout.
It's a glorified shuttle.
How didn't the
Okay,
Federation
yes.
just win after this moment?
How?
No, hold on. The Weiyun just gave the there's a secret underbelly, so they just hit the secret underbelly.
Right. It's the
It wasn't
That's
that
our weak
secret.
spot.
He just hit its center mass.
Dorsal fin or something.
There wasn't some secret weak point. It was just the middle of a plate.
Yeah, why
Very weak
haven't
plate,
scans
apparently.
of the ships revealed this weakness? What's going on?
Why have the Dominion not fixed this if they know about it?
I thought Starfleet sensors were the best. I thought that's what Federation's all about, exploration, sensing and all that.
He actually stole a runabout. No, you can't. You can't do that. He stole a piece of military hardware. Also, there's a matte painting in the background. I wonder if that's post-processing lighting on the stick, on the wires.
It kind of looks like it.
No, it looks like it's from underneath. But I never realized about painting until I started coming to your show, Ryan. So, and I've only understood it in the past 2 or 3 months, maybe, or weeks, to be honest.
Also, in the background, there were some barrels that happened to have the exact same prop as self-replicating mines. Do they store those on the station just in case?
How did Martok so easily defeat those barrels? I don't understand.
They weren't blue.
Oh,
Ah.
I assume that mine casing is just a standard issue Starfleet thing.
That they can put mines in.
Sure, why not?
That makes sense.
It's not like it needs to be robust. They want the things to explode.
True.
Here also, if you want to know what the word obsequious means, just put this picture.
Yeah,
We
up
don't
here
believe
next to
in
the
your
dictionary.
fancy words here.
Suck up is another term.
That's a better term.
Uh-huh.
Brown nose is appropriate.
And I love how his eyes go down. It's like, we're doing it right now, Founder.
Are we defining weird words? Is that what's going on? Because Soma just
Obsequious is a good SAT word. You can thank me when you go to...
yeah, it's fine. Soma just
Is
put the word
obsequiescence a
fascinating
word?
into general chat, and I don't know if everybody knows the origins of the word fascinating, but the Romans used to worship, I don't know if it was technically a god or just like a kind of a thing that was called Fascinus. And essentially, the word fascinating's origin is what would happen to people when they stared at Fascinus, just essentially being entranced. And
That's kinda cool.
Fascinus was a penis.
There's also
Oh.
that old dumb spell book
Thanks.
with the famous line, "You may fascinate a woman by giving her a piece of cheese." Which
Wow.
means a different
That's
kind of
fascinating.
fascinate. I think it
That's
means
fascinating.
bewitch.
I mean, have you tried it?
It would work on my cousin.
I have given at least one woman cheese in the past. She wasn't bewitched as a result, however.
Or was she fascinated?
I mean,
This guy's eating pretty good. But
no, he's terrible at eating. He's eating pepperoni with one chopstick. He's the worst at eating.
yeah, but he explains here that they don't even care about the taste of food.
That's a big flex.
They don't have a sense of aesthetics. They don't have taste. They have poor eyesight.
Are their berries blue?
Poor eyesight is just such a weird flex because, like, why would you make your administrators have bad eyesight?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't mean to laugh. So
Like,
much.
they don't necessarily
feelings.
need to be eagle-eyed and be like the best soldiers, but like you should be able
think-
to like read.
I
Bad
making fun
eyesight,
of-
good foresight.
nerds wearing glasses. Is that what it is? Are they
No,
making
I don't
fun
think
of
so.
the
I
red-
think it's just
so if I'm sitting here looking at my screen without my glasses, I can't read anything.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the chat.
Yeah,
I
but
have
that's
no clue
not
what it
that
says.
wasn't engineered into you. Like
No,
they didn't decide,
but-
oh, we're
so
going to
why
keep your
would they
horizon.
engineer that
Yeah.
into someone? What's wrong
That's
with
so
them?
true. If there's something really wrong with them.
I mean, he doesn't specify how weak his eyes are.
Yeah.
Maybe he's
I mean,
short-sighted.
He couldn't see the
Nearsighted.
flashes of the mines getting disabled, which
It's the
were
thing.
quite visible on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's to keep them dependent, right? So it's in that way, like
I mean,
Yes,
the
but what does
colours
it
and
really do?
the UV spectrum are quite visible to lots of animals, but we completely can't see them.
right, bees especially.
But if we were
like,
genetically engineered, we should be able to see them.
we should.
Like
Maybe.
civilization as advanced as the founders, who basically genetically engineered the Jem'Hadar to be dependent soldiers,
Mhm,
and then the Vorta to be the administrators.
mhm.
That's a choice. Like they
Mhm.
didn't just decide, "Oops, we found this species and we're going to make them our administrators." They
Mm.
clearly are good enough to genetically engineer all of this stuff, and
Yeah.
they just kept the Vorta with bad eyesight.
Yeah. Well, it's like the bad taste too, you know, like the textures. Like you don't
Yeah.
don't need that skill to be an administrator. So just, you know.
Yeah, no,
work.
I mean that's less problematic. Eyesight is
Yeah. For a
pretty
spacefaring
important.
civilization, it's pretty crazy, yeah. Like because yeah.
I'm gonna
Like,
go
if
ahead
you
and
can-
make some leaps of logic here. So the
Here we go.
the Vorta. I'm gonna make some leaps of logic based on half-remembered biology classes. Eyes facing forward like a human, eyes that go forward instead of sort of to the sides are indicative of a predator origin.
Right.
Oh.
And generally, predators are supposed to have good vision, so they can find stuff to murder.
Well, actually, out of
Yeah,
all the
you're supposed to
senses,
have good vision.
out of all the senses to evolve, four-legged animals, it's smell. Because you want to be able to smell something upwind, downwind. And when we become bipedal,
But
then
Wayun's
we
not
can
four-legged. I hate to
more
interject, but
dependent. Yeah.
Do birds of prey have eyes to the side? That doesn't sound. Wait, let me look up a picture of a. I don't know.
No. An
Hawk.
owl has it to the front.
Owls sure don't.
But owls are very rare.
that
Owls
would be
are
saying weird.
Very forward.
A
like,
hawk
eagles
with
have
its
it to
eyes on the
side.
front.
But I mean, I think it's more closer to the front. I don't know. Like, okay, for example, a chicken has it basically on opposite sides of the head. And the way you do that is when you cluck your head back and forth very quickly, you get the widest range of vision. And that's why they're always like clucking their heads.
Though it's sort of a moot point about the hawks because birds aren't real. They're not actually prey. They have eyes on the side so they can get the widest field of view because they're actually government drones. They need the cameras. They need the field of view.
Mm-mm.
That's
I
what
mean,
night's
according
for, is
to-
so they can change the batteries.
Yeah.
According to
Have you-
Jaden Smith,
Have you
our
ever
eyes
seen a
aren't real
bird at
either.
night? Come on.
They just all go somewhere. Back to the depot.
Wayun is like so on point here. He's like the Wayun 5, right? Because
I like William.
this is Wayun 5. 4 was killed.
No, this is
Six
way in
is-
6. 5 was killed.
Okay, thank you.
This is the only way in for me.
Well, you're gonna have to enjoy this Wayun for the next few minutes.
There's a Kuiper belt.
Yeah, why not?
Great.
I mean,
Is there an orc cloud also?
I don't know if it's called the Kuiper Belt. This is a different.
Did they say Kuiper
guess-
Belt?
Odo
I
said
guess he
Kuiper
didn't
Belt.
want to. Yeah, I guess he didn't want to say asteroid field, so they said Kuiper belt.
For those who don't know, a Kuiper Belt is just an asteroid field for ice. That's all it is.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
it's a generic term. I thought it was specifically the one outside our solar
Yeah.
system.
I didn't realize that.
Because beyond that is the orc cloud. So I thought that was just us.
Why doesn't he just use his phasers to melt the
I
ice
don't-
when he gets cold?
Hey, yesterday
Kuiper
we had a
belt,
Star Wars.
I think it
episode
might
too.
be specific to our solar system, but as it expanded out, maybe it just became a generic term. I don't know.
Well, by the 24th century, it did. Look, they have a Mandalorian episode like this. And Star Wars.
Only a god. And the Mandalorian. Maybe the Mandalorian is a god. That's a terrible desk.
For some reason, I thought it was the blanket.
But that's like the best line ever, because I remember our social studies teacher. He was a soldier. He taught us that there's no atheist in a foxhole.
There are
And
definitely decent foxholes.
I like to use it as a zinger, but right now that Odo line is a better zinger. It's like in an hour you're gonna want to trade in your faith for a blanket.
It's really not a zinger. There are plenty of atheists in foxholes.
Yeah.
It's religious propaganda is what it is.
All right. Well,
There are some people I've talked to who seem to firmly believe that no one is actually an atheist. They think that atheists don't exist. Everyone secretly believes in some higher power. That's not how it works.
I mean, I believe in a higher power. There's a thing called the sun. It's literally huge and more powerful than me.
Supernatural
So, like,
higher power.
Okay, well, supernatural, of course.
Well, half the time it's lower, not higher.
Well, define lower or higher, because I mean,
there is no
that
up
doesn't
in
really
space.
mean anything.
Okay, fair enough.
I believe Jadzia is in Stovacor, so
Let's all
I'm
just
still-
agree on heliocentrism.
I'm still
No.
mourning Jadzia, and I don't think there's enough mourning of Jadzia going on this show.
If
'Cause,
we
she
bring
just
in
died.
if we were to get like another planet from a solar system, a different solar system, put giant
we gonna
rockets
trade?
in. No, put giant rockets on it, bring it here. We could move the berry center of our solar system out of the sun.
I think it would have to be a very dense planet to do that.
I mean, it's already a little bit off center from the sun. Like there's a center of gravity that's a few, I don't know about miles. but a
Yeah, it's
few
still
miles away
inside
from
the sun, though, I think.
Oh, it is. I thought it was just a little bit to the right or something.
To the right? What do you mean? We're in space.
I don't know.
You're both correct. It fluctuates throughout the year.
Yay!
The
If
sun
the
is not a
planets are
stationary
all
object.
aligned with each other, the
Oh, this
berry
is what the
center is
Romulans were
slightly
doing
outside the
in
sun.
the Pegasus episode. Sorry, I didn't mean to speak over you, owner of the channel.
Do you know which planet is closest to Earth for the longest period of time? As they are.
Mercury.
Pluto?
It's actually Venus, but every once in a while it's Mars.
No,
You
it's
know,
Pluto.
Mercury is always the closest. Well, not always the closest planet, but it is the closest planet for most of the time.
No, it's Pluto.
That
That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right at all.
Not right at all.
Let me find you the video that proves me correct.
Pluto? Pluto's not even a planet.
It is in this video.
Yeah. Well, there's
So we're going to go
93
back in
miles between
time
us
before
and the sun.
Pluto was undesignated and do the mathematical calculation.
There's no.
It's clear from this
Yes.
It's clear from this corollary and from the table that Mercury, not Venus, is the closest planet to Earth on average. In fact,
No,
Mercury
yeah.
is even the closest planet to Neptune on average.
That's true
No.
for all the planets, yeah.
What?
Oh, just
It's
because.
just
That makes
because-
sense.
Because Mercury
Straight
has such a
lines?
small radius, like if Jupiter and Earth are on opposite sides of their orbit, then they're really far apart, but Mercury is always roughly the same distance because it's so close to the sun.
Right. Huh, that's funny.
Yeah, because if, like, Mercury and Earth are on opposite sides of their orbits, and Venus and Earth are on opposite sides of their orbits, Venus is clearly much farther away than Mercury is.
Yeah.
At least he's offering to help. That's nice. He's so polite.
I mean, I think Wayun just basically dealt with Wayun right now.
Surely, like, if you bumped into something the wrong way, you could activate that implant pretty easily.
Yeah,
It didn't look too difficult for him to do it.
No.
it's kind of scary how easy that was.
I mean, it might be like biting into a gel tablet. Like, take a little bit more force than bumping.
What if you're just eating your lunch and you crack it and you're like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, this is really also pretty great for atheists. I'm bringing that up again, even though I cut it off. Oh, you gave your blessing? He's so happy.
A lot of people revert to religion as they're about to die because they're like,
There's no
okay, you need something to believe in.
Vortas in a foxhole.
There are definitely
there's no
atheists in foxholes.
I mean, if you look
Vorta,
at the
Vorta.
Vorta belief, the Vorta and Bajoran belief actually in religion.
Yeah, they don't really need to
It's-
like have faith really because it's right
Yeah,
there.
it's not really that difficult. He doesn't have to have faith in Odo or the founders. He's literally holding him as his life bleeds out of him. And the founder, the prophets are
His
know.
god is embracing him. I
Aliens.
think that's like pretty concrete.
That's
Yeah.
that control time too.
But
apparently.
Odo's not actually a god. His faith is that Odo's a god, not that Odo
Yeah,
exists.
no, you're not wrong, but like it doesn't matter because that's what he believes.
Odo's just some liquidy guy.
Listen, we can't blaspheme the founders because that Vorta just died for his beliefs. Okay, so respect.
And he ain't going to Vorta heaven.
No,
just
that's
gone.
not how respect works.
He was a martyr for the faith.
I don't have to respect someone for being a martyr to the faith.
Right. But Saint Wayun the Fifth.
More
In fact, there have
libertarian
been significant contentions with people who have been martyrs to their faiths.
Yeah, that's true.
What? No one ever did anything bad because of faith. What are you talking about?
Never.
People always rescue others when they're martyrs for the faith. Right.
Uh-huh. Sounds legit.
I still want one of those bottles.
And he got 2309, which is like 100 years old at this point.
It's also the best in canon.
Isn't it only like 70 years old?
70. So I mean it's
old.
it's from the prior century though, right? Almost.
No, they're in the 2300s.
The turn of the century, right?
2309 and they're in like 2370 or 2380 something, I don't know.
Right.
When
I think it's the early 2370s now.
Yeah.
New Year at 2309 must have been wild.
Yeah.
2309's ready, boys.
One of the hard things about a vineyard is keeping all that properly corked.
It's about keeping the Romulan assassins out. It's not enough for him anymore. He's dead. No afterlife for him. He's gone.
See,
Just throw him into the Celestial Temple.
That's the point I was making. That guy had meaning in his life for like 5. But here's one of the reasons this episode. I think I always forget that it exists because it's like, it's just self-contained. Well, actually, here we find out that the founders have a disease, and we don't know what it is. Because Damar says, "What's with her face?" And then she has to like fix it, and then she orders the temperature be 15 degrees lower.
Any triangles here? Anyone docking with the station? No, nothing.
Wow, not even a Jaeger.
Not even a Jaeger.
No, I want a triangle.
It's a
It's been
sad
so
and
long.
lonely episode.
It
We
has.
miss
Said we got
Wayun. Come on, guys, have some respect.
It's been no, screw Wayun.
Jadzia died.
Jadzia died like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's fine. She's been replaced.
We don't need her anymore. We have Ezri Dax.
Worf is a widow.
Alright. Let me change the title on screen to Once More Unto the Breach, which probably isn't going to fit. Why are all the episode titles today so long?
Is it still called a widow if it's the guy?
It's
a
a
widower.
widower, but
Technically
we say
not, but it's
we say
dumb that it's a
actor
gendered
now.
term.
instead of actress.
needlessly gendered terms we can just ignore and pretend they're not gendered and just say he's a widow. Also, 1 minute to the next episode. Wait, what? Oh god, I screwed up my program. It's counting up from 1 minute, not down. No. No. Dang it. Wait. It was working fine before, I promise. No. I have part of a new program. Okay. Okay, where was it? OBJ time, and then when counting up equals false, counting up equals false. Oh, I know what I did. I forgot to set. What did I say? Count deer. Count deer needs to be -1. Because that means it's counting down instead of up. And then what's this? Keyboard escape, that's the exit button. Hang on. I can fix it. Let's see if it's working. I did it. It's fine. I made it work. Don't worry about it. I forgot to set count deer equals -1. It's fine now. It's not that complicated to program. It shouldn't take that long to fix. It's just countdown. Anyway, next up is Klingon Alzheimer's. Yep. It's good. You said that. You can't quote yourself. Did you forgot to switch to your alt account? Everybody get ready to press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. It's a Jaeger and an Excelsior. Get out. Who cares? Yeah, the Great Material Continuum, thank you. That's me. Why is that? Why am I overthinking the countdown timer? In, basically C. Yeah. No, I can't. Here's the issue. Because I have a 3-second broadcast delay, the conventional ways of putting a countdown just stop showing up for the last 3 seconds of the countdown. It just goes blank. I needed a solution that's screen capture, not based on a text file. He did it all for the Nookne. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Nah.
That's
Oh wait, Discord was muted. How long was Discord muted? It's back now.
Ryan, we can only hear you.
I fixed it. It's fine now.
No. I heard Anim.
Hi.
There's a whole conversation there. Don't worry about it. I wasn't talking to myself. It's fine.
Yeah.
We were talking about programming.
I can hear her.
Okay, but what is Nookne?
Right now I can hear Anim and Gymix.
What is Nookne? I'll
That's
not
worry
rest
about
until
it.
I find out what Nookne is.
reading. 6 for plus.
I mean, if you can figure out how to spell it, there are Klingon dictionaries online, I'm sure.
N apostrophe Q N apostrophe Y.
Okay.
It was a H at the end, also lowercase h. The capital H is the ch sound.
What? He did make a ch sound. A little bit of one anyway.
Yeah, but he didn't. Maybe he was American and he couldn't pull it off.
I can say Siddiq al-Tahil al-Fadil Abdurrahman Mohammed Ahmed Abdul Karim al-Mahdi.
Very well at that.
I cannot say that.
It's just
I
practice,
cannot
Kevin.
say it well like that.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I could practice, but that would take time.
Yes, practice does take practice.
Yeah.
So this is Core's last episode.
For reasons that will become obvious at the end.
Why are you giving spoilers?
It's because
Well, I mean,
his
he's saying he
Alzheimer's
wants to retire.
deteriorates, he gets even worse, and he has to go to a Klingon nursing home. Oh, also I forgot to blur the screen. Man, I'm good at streaming. So that's Baltar. Old Baltar. What do old Klingons even do?
Yeah, that's a good question.
They gripe all the time.
They become lawyers, obviously. Haven't you seen that episode?
They drink and sing songs about battle.
Do
Yeah,
they count as honored dead if they die of old age, but they fought a lot while they were young?
That's what I'm saying.
No.
It's like,
Probably
To
not.
be honest, a lot of Klingons wouldn't grow old because their lifestyle is just
Yeah.
so violent.
But
So like
if
growing
you're
old
just-
would
Are people really dishonored because they're just so good at fighting that they don't die?
yeah, I think that's what happens to like old Klingons.
I guess.
hardly
I
think
guess.
so.
Well, someone's got to be around to tell the stories and sing the songs. Like
Yeah, but
those guys.
success becomes the failure. Like, yeah,
I mean, it can't be that bad. Their civilizations survived for thousands of years.
yeah, but he feels worthless. You know.
They can do that without people growing old, though. I mean,
That's an old
is that-
Klingon, and he's just a assistant.
Yeah.
He's Martok's secretary.
I think there's a difference in their society between being like extremely honored and famous and just being like fine.
Yeah. A clerk or something. And I work as a clerk, so no offense to clerks.
Like if you're a warrior, honors everything, but if you're not, then like it's not.
If you're just an office worker, you literally go to hell? What kind of a solution is that? It's a dumb system.
It's only the warriors that are like so true to the I must die in battle stuff.
Like Core is from the prior century, right? So obviously people from a century ago are gonna be like Rip Van Winkle.
I really don't get why Martok doesn't just get a new eye. It would help its combat.
It looks so cool though. You can't take your eye off of it when he's acting.
Martok can take his eye off of it for sure.
How is it that Klingons reach physical maturity at the age of 8 and then also live to be like 180?
Because they just built
Don't know.
different. They've got like redundant organs.
Only one organ ages at a time. The other
just
ones are
swap
held
out
in
as like-
stasis.
I wonder if it's modular, like you
Just not
can like
fair.
it's like a new hard drive, you just like switch it out as you need.
Eh?
You know,
Modular Klingons.
because we're
Klingons,
on the
hang on. Klingons would be really prone to cancer, aren't they? Because they have so much extra stuff happening.
Oh yeah.
like you said, only one ages at a time. So like
Made that
Well,
up.
I don't think that's canon
There-
though.
If I recall correctly, elephants, I believe it's elephants, they have
They
like
never
a
forget.
like an anti-cancer gene. Like they're very like despite being very
Whales
long-lived
do.
and
Yeah.
having a lot of mass, they're not susceptible to cancer like humans. So maybe
Yeah.
they're just not susceptible to cancer.
Maybe.
there's nothing, Richard.
Partly the reason why we get so much cancer is because our population's been devastated repeatedly to like really small numbers, and we've had to rebuild from there. So there's lots of errors
Yeah.
creeping in.
Right,
The-
but you know something.
Our
Richard,
code base as a people
I mean-
is pretty, you know.
something Ri-
Like most animals are prone to
Yeah.
cancer. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's weird, especially.
Well, like,
and
really-
also, most
really
animals
large-
don't tend to live long enough to get
Yeah,
cancer.
like,
That's the thing.
cats
That's another big
get
one.
Cats eat
Much
uterine
larger
cancer.
animals don't seem to
Yeah.
be affected by it. I think because they're so big, that seems to be like the idea about it. Because they're so big, like the tumors never
whales
get big
get
enough to
cancer?
affect them. Yeah, they do,
Well-
but it doesn't really affect
I mean,
them
a tumor
because
can
they
happen
live
to any animal,
for
right?
so
Like, I
long.
mean,
They're so big.
it's just
Like,
an
we've found
aberration
lots of
in their
tumors in
cellular
whales.
reproduction.
Huh.
Like humans.
But
I mean, the tendency of cancer though is to grow until it
They're like humans.
without
basically.
bound though. Like
Yeah, but
So
depending on
eventually they
where
would
it,
get-
where it forms, it can
I
only
saw
grow
Richard
so big.
Dawkins
That
in
makes sense.
person once.
You can't just
and
become a tumor.
The leading
Fair enough.
teacher of evolution in our pop culture said that the reason that we get cancers in like later in life or very young children is because after 5,000 years of like being, you know, intelligent and literate and civilized, we've kind of weeded out the people who have middle-aged cancers. And so it's kind of a rare thing, actually. Just like the same way wheat is fatter, cows are fatter. You know, natural selection kind of helps. And cats and dogs really don't have
Cancers
that.
are probabilities game.
Yeah.
In the cell division.
would be-
So
I mean,
it makes
it's-
sense that
it's
it happens when
technically-
people are.
It's
older.
technically possible to like
yeah,
weed out cancer entirely, but what the process that we would use for that is called
Eugenics.
eugenics.
Yeah.
So we don't.
That's what people often get.
You could have a
And
war
people
about
were
that.
for that in the 50s and 60s because it just made sense.
It's more common.
Well, it's
Like,
a very rational
cancer's been
idea,
common.
but it leads to very bad things.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the problem with it.
Sometimes people get tumors almost as big as a whole person, and then they name them Wesley and they send them to Starfleet again.
So, Robo, does
Who
your
directed this
countdown
episode?
solution also let me stream just the countdown to Discord so people here can see it?
How do you do that?
It's streaming right now to Discord. So
Alright,
you
that's
don't.
a good idea.
Oh, you're. Oh, okay. Let me see. Let's see.
So you
It's
can
a
sync
good
up better
idea.
with
a
people
window,
joining.
or
earlier.
are you
Go
streaming
right in.
like a little portion of your screen?
That's the
If
whole
only
window.
know how Ryan makes the countdowns.
See? No, but it also helps us.
Because people come in
me.
mid-episode and are like, "Oh, what timestamp are we on?" Because the
Can I get a
YouTube is out of sync.
countdown?
It's like, there it is.
Yeah. Can I get
Nice.
a countdown? Yeah.
Can you get the opposite? Can you do the inverse timestamp for Netflix?
You kind of technically
No,
too,
because
so-
that
every
would be
episode is
cool.
a different length, and I'd have to do it manually.
Yeah, you
Well, you-
have to do the math.
There must be a spreadsheet someone's already made of
You just have to have a. You
No,
just have to have a text file to drop a number in and then have it subtract it from that value.
At least if you're on a PC, if you're just going to a timestamp in Netflix, it's okay because you will get to see what timestamp you're going to. It's not
I
on
also
your
don't
Yeah,
know
it's-
if Amazon and Netflix videos, because I don't have Netflix, I have Amazon. I don't know if they're exactly the same length, if they have different ads at the end or what.
There's no ads.
different
Yeah.
like credits. Like there are like
Do
credits
you
for
wanna
international
write it for him?
dubbings and things like that that might be different.
So, and by the way, that might help the stream also, because I was gonna say it's not important for the stream, but the fact that people would watch it on stream, they might just get it better. But yeah, it's not as accurate as the count up stamp, because we just be winging it from the 45-minute, and some episodes are 44 minutes 44 seconds, so it would be just a
Maybe-
rough.
Maybe try if it works. If it doesn't work, oh well.
What is the difference in delay? If you look at the Discord stream compared to YouTube, what's the difference
It's
there?
5 seconds.
Okay.
6 for me.
Like a little bit under 5 seconds for me anyway. I guess I might be behind a little on the.
It's about 10
YouTube.
seconds for me. I can just F5 YouTube and see.
I'm getting techie too, so
5 seconds
kind of
now,
interested
now that
in-
I refreshed.
that's why I was asking all the Discord questions.
So, Robo,
Ryan
did you
Benson.
answer the question? Can your timer show on Discord the way?
I maybe.
Sorry, I
Possible.
don't mean to press you.
I
but-
mean, he could
Oh, yeah, okay.
he could be screen sharing his OBS, and then yes, it would.
No, because on OBS, it has the 3-second delay.
tell him Ryan.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Oh, look, Core was a thorn in Martok's side.
Core is the epitome of racist old man doesn't like things changing.
Senator Jesse Helms or Strom Thurmond
Yeah.
or something? Okay. Okay.
Good old classism. in the Klingon Empire.
That gentry pop folk. That's a good analogy, Ryan.
I don't understand why the Klingons are so big on class. It seems like they would be big on merit.
It's true. And honor
Yeah,
from
in honor.
your great battles, which
Yeah,
would be
I
a
think-
form of merit. Yeah.
Cultures that have an honor shame society, I'm not going to name any names, they also tend to be like tribal and clan in structure. So it kind of also makes sense that they'd have that foolish structure as well. I mean, it's what you needed to survive, right? Clans, like family honor was synonymous with personal honor, and you were upheld personal honor to uphold the family's honor, and the converse.
Could
Family
Martok
shame
have
is
challenged
individual shame.
Kor to a duel and just killed him to get on?
Yes.
Maybe. But
If
maybe
he
he
thought
would
he
have
could
just
take
been
him.
killed for it.
But wait, didn't they say didn't Jadzia the late, rest her soul in Soviet Corps?
Jadzia was never late.
Nor was she
She-
early. She arrived
she-
precisely when she meant to.
Yeah.
May her memory be blessed.
It's just a TV show, man.
She pointed out
Terry Farrell's
just-
fine.
I mean, her memory wasn't very blessed. They whipped that worm straight out of there and put in another one.
so she pointed out that you can only do the attack your superior thing or do the flip the script table thing in a very structured way. Between
Yeah,
the
there's got to be
subordinate
like
and superior.
justification that everyone else understands.
Yeah, so Martok couldn't have just challenged.
Oh, look
Kor
at that
and-
directory. Because people missed it last time. Notice how it's in different languages.
No, all I see is pixels. I don't.
It's very informative.
Well, it was in focus a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to see it was in different scripts, right? There was some of it in Klingon,
Yeah.
some of it in
Mhm.
yeah.
It was like a Rosetta Stone, basically. At
Or-
least 3 or 4 parallel.
Or
languages.
any like mall map in multiple languages.
Yeah.
I think Mr. A.V. Clark is a little while behind on the stream. So when you get here in like 5-7 minutes, it's like, hey, this is when we're showing up that, yes, elephants are resistant to cancer. Conversation was a little while ago, but that's okay.
Thanks for affirming.
Democratic rabble.
Yeah.
No,
Come
that's just
on,
classism
Worf.
again,
You're-
Kor.
You're noble like me. Come on.
You're one of the good
You should under-
ones.
You should understand what it's like to look
Wait,
down
isn't
your nose
Warp
at
in the
people.
House of Martok now?
Look
Yeah.
down your ridges at
Yeah,
someone.
he is House of Martok.
Bruh.
What's Kor talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, wait. So
I
wait,
guess the Klingon
He thinks he's
Alzheimer's
talking
made
to
him
someone
forget
else.
that. He forgot that Worf is
The
no
House
longer
of-
House of Moog.
House of Moog is disgraced still?
Yeah?
No.
Well, maybe.
No.
I don't know. It
I
keeps
don't think
changing.
so.
Not
It's just
disgraced,
like
it's been
no,
disgraced like
Mogs
3
no
separate
longer
times.
exists.
yeah, there's
House
no
of
Mogs
no
left.
longer exists. It's just Kern has had his memory wiped.
What about
and-
Alexander?
And Worf. Alexander is a Rozhenko.
Is a wash up.
He's the ship jester.
That's it's
Alexander
Worf. He didn't
Movchenko?
raise him to be Klingon in any way, so why would he be Klingon?
Mokshenko sounds like you could get
Wait,
it at
hang
Starbucks.
on. What about oh god, what's the kid's name? What's the
Nikolai?
kid that Worf made Roostai with?
Um,
the boy.
That sounds a little bit weird.
Yeah, that's the point.
hey, there's
That
Excelsior.
was-
What is Rustai anyway? Is it like a blood bond or something?
Yeah.
I think strictly speaking, it just translates to the bonding.
But he never checks up on that kid again, as far as we know.
Jeremy
That's it,
Astor,
no,
that's
that's-
the one. Yes, Jeremy Astor. Isn't Jeremy Astor House of Moog?
I
Yeah,
hear
that's
the ancient Greeks had a similar practice.
No. We can leave the ancient Greeks' questionable practices out of this.
Family friendly YouTube stream.
Oh yes,
Very family friendly. So,
especially Greek families.
what I was gonna say earlier was that one of the things is that for honor or honorable houses, it's through the family. But oh wait, so if Jeremy Astor can lead the House of Moog, because we had Quark lead the House of Rivka, whatever her name
Grilka.
was. So Grilka, thank you.
It became the House
It
of
wasn't
Quark,
House-
didn't it?
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was
think
the House
Grilka
of
was her
whoever, but
second name.
not Grilka, because Grilka wasn't the head of the house.
Yeah,
It
so
became House of Grilka.
What
Jeremy
was her
Astor
house
is that-
actually?
It was a one-story out in the Ketha Highlands. Lovely view.
You
I
can
called
look
her
down on all the
Rivka 'cause I
Ketha
just
lowlanders.
confused her
Sneer
with
at them.
Worf's Russian names. Widow of Kozak.
Jimmy Astor is nothing, and if he shows his face in the Klingon Empire, they'll probably execute him.
Why?
It's called the House of Grilka now, by the way. So
But that's her
take,
first name?
take that, everyone.
Klingons don't even have last names.
Yeah.
The last name is their house name?
It's the
Sort
Mo-
of.
What?
Mo-
So you
Moog-
think people should just go up to her and call her House of Grilka?
No. Like,
House of Kozak.
Worf's
He's
second
Grilka,
name
House of
is
Grilka.
essentially Martok in this system.
Yeah,
But
so it
it's
does
more
take on the
of the House of
patriarch's name.
Martok. You know,
Now,
it doesn't
yes.
really.
I wouldn't say,
Never
like,
uses a name
I wouldn't
that
walk
way.
up to Worf and say House of Martok, would you? No, that's an absurd question.
How do you do, Mr.
Yeah.
House of Martok? Mr. House of Martok, get on that console.
Yeah.
Anyway, the episode is happening.
What are those cups? There's always funky cups going around this
Those
station.
look
What is
pretty
going
normal.
on here?
That looks like a normal cup.
I don't know. It looks like something you'd give to a 4-year-old so they don't break it.
Yeah, it looks pretty IKEA.
It's slightly glossy. It might be glazed ceramic.
Prefer
No,
the
it's
ones that get into
transparent. It's
tin
more like
mode where it's kind
it's
of
more like frosted
rainbow.
glass.
I made pickled onions, so
Okay.
What?
Which makes me gag. But
Are they in a fancy jar?
Ezri's really cute because she's always being a psychologist. She has all these like quirks and tics. You know, like she's space sick. She gags at blood wine. Like she's clumsy on like the.
he's only
gymnast-
space sick because of the joining. She
Yeah.
wasn't space sick before, but
True.
she's
it's- Yeah. It's one of our
She has
former
her
hosts.
issues.
Like
yeah, it's
internalized. The guy
She
that
has a
died
few
in the shuttle
neuroses.
accident.
right. The guy that died in the shuttle accident is why she's space sick.
Yeah.
And she
I
knows
thought she
that
was
that's the
basic
case.
because she was feeling guilty.
Yeah.
No, she's like punishing herself. Apparently, that's what she thinks for getting into or like causing the shuttle accident as that former person.
Something to do with her mother too, though, right?
Her mother runs a mining consortium.
Sugar mummy.
She's loaded, huh? Wait, so that's what I said.
No,
That's
they're
why Nicole
broke.
DeBoer.
As we'll find out later.
And her brother's a murderer.
Only a little bit.
And a mediocre painter.
Yeah.
He's kind of like you know.
He has a huge bottle of Saurian brandy though.
Yes.
Now, as far as I know, he's never murdered anyone, but Ezri's murderous brother reminds me a lot of my brother, and it concerns me.
Yeah.
Is
He's
your
never
mother
killed anyone, as
the,
far as I
CEO
know.
of a mining consortium?
No.
Why is he not capable of pulling it off? Ryan?
He'd
actually
never
a cop.
murder anyone. Oh no.
Of course, he wouldn't murder anybody. He could never do something like that. Come on, he's too much of a screw up.
Take for a segue.
But just the manner of behavior. The speech mannerisms. What do you call that? The way someone talks?
Intonation.
Sure.
Speech pattern.
The body language, the speech. My brother's gonna murder someone. I
Verbal?
can see it.
Man,
Is he a like average artist who's frustrated with his work?
Not as far as I know.
Did he apply to the Boolean Academy of Art and get rejected?
Yes.
What do Booleans know about art, anyways?
What is
Well,
that
they're
supposed to
blue,
mean? What do Booleans
so-
not know about art?
Why?
They're blue, which means that they know art.
Do you have something against Booleans?
Are they more aesthetically pleasing because they're blue?
Exactly.
Yes. Everybody knows that. Like, Twi'leks are blue, some of them.
Even the
Asari
guy
and
who
Mass
can't
Effect
see
are blue.
knows that.
Andorians are blue, and everybody loves Shran.
Brian's just a top lad, though.
So you ever
Everybody's more aesthetically pleasing when they're blue.
old people sometimes like to talk a lot, but it's just because they live so much that they like to transmit it to their youngsters.
Nah,
my
sometimes people just like to talk a lot.
Is
Yeah,
that a-
Robo, I know. You just keep going and going and going. I come back 20 minutes later and you're still arguing about something.
Are you not going to show us the pickled onions?
makes me gag.
I forgot what the conversation was about, though, but where I came back after the stream. It's like, oh my god.
He
Do you,
said
do you want pickled onions? Do you want to see the pickled onions?
yes.
I mean, you
guess I can
said
take a
you made
picture of
them,
the pickled
so
onions.
show.
Yes.
Hold on a second.
Show onions.
In India, we
But-
pickle mangoes.
Oh,
I sent
that's
you my
weird.
onions,
He's
please
remembered.
respond.
Core's trying his best. He's trying. But get it together, man.
I think
But-
he gets a good send-off, honestly.
Someone's diagnosed with the equivalent of Alzheimer's shouldn't really be third officer on a warship.
He's not
He
diagnosed,
doesn't
though.
have
He's not telling
Alzheimer's, he has
anyone.
Klingon Alzheimer's. It's different.
You don't
Did you
want to
say
get
that?
diagnosed. You don't want to get diagnosed with Klingon Alzheimer's because they just kill you.
And that's not honorable.
Is it honorable to die in battle if the reason
They
you
do
died was
the-
Klingon Alzheimer's and you
It
forgot you
doesn't
were
matter
fighting?
because you're dead.
What was the thing that Worf was going to do for his brother? Or the
He
Worf
was
was
going
going
to
to have
stab him in the chest. He did stab him in
or
the chest.
Riker was going to do it for Worf, and Riker refused.
Riker's like, I'm not doing
Yeah,
this. I'm
the-
not comfortable.
The I stabbed my friend to death ceremony.
I'm not doing this.
So I think in that ceremony, Worf was supposed to stab himself.
Right, and Riker gives him the knife.
Worf is like always trying to stab himself. There's so many times where Worf's like, okay, this is it. Like, I'm surprised they're not just like continuously monitoring Worf in case he's going off on one.
They dropped their No! Don't drop your shield. It's a trap. Don't do it. Even if this wasn't a trap, are they sure they want to drop their shields less than 5 seconds after the fleet did a strafing run?
Wouldn't they detect it and just turn around and come back
Yeah.
high speed and
Why would
finish you off?
give it a minute? How did he just fall unconscious? Nothing hit him.
Must have been a rock. An invisible
There was just a
cloaked
bright
rock.
light next to his head.
Because on Klingon vessels, you have cloaked rocks as well as regular rocks.
Core, what are you doing?
Core is being core, you know?
Quick, shoot Core. Shoot him. Okay, we're losing people. Well, I don't know if we're losing people. We're losing Klingons. No, we're losing people. We're losing ships.
Seen Klingons?
The Federation outpost on Caleb 4.
At least it's not people.
You should know. You were there when he died. You watched him take his last
10,000,
breath.
you can take them. You're Klingon warriors.
Yeah.
He's gone mad with power.
He's doing the Artemis War.
Shoot him. No, don't get up and stab him. Just shoot him from the floor. Oh, you were going to throw it. That was a good throw, though. And good catch by Worf, Jesus.
Yeah. I wonder why
think
they
what
cut
they
the
did there-
camera angle shot.
I think what they did there is Michael Dorn was holding it, and they yanked it backwards out of his hand with a wire. Because there's no
they
way he could
replayed
have
it
possibly
backwards?
caught a knife like that. Even a fake knife.
Well,
Yeah, it's a good idea.
maybe he did, and he's just a badass.
That would
No,
have
I
taken
saw-
so many takes.
Yeah, and I saw in James Cameron's Alien when they had the little alien that runs around when they don't even find the big one yet, and it goes into the guy's mouth. It's too dangerous to fire something in someone's mouth, so you pull it out of their mouth and you play the footage backwards.
Right.
You can't always
Also-
pull a Viggo Mortensen where he smacked a knife out of the air with his bloody sword.
He also broke his foot kicking a helmet and
He
had
did.
to film the rest of the movie with a broken foot. Then
Nice.
in another Alien reference, Alien Resurrection, Sigourney Weaver, there's a scene where she throws a basketball over her shoulder and it goes in, swish. And they did like almost 100 takes. And they said, all right, never mind. If we don't get it this time, we'll just do it in post. And she throws it over her shoulder and it goes in. And Ron Perlman couldn't like contain his reaction and he goes nuts, so like it ruins the shot anyway. So like there's this hard cut right when it goes swish, and they had to like switch to another shot of Ron Perlman.
Wait, why couldn't we see Ron Perlman's elated reaction? What's wrong with that?
The script didn't call for it.
I don't know, ask the director.
Who's the director? I'll call him up.
Oh yeah. So
Look it up. IMDb,
could've
Alien Resurrection.
So what happened? The camera was hit, or something, or like?
No,
Because
he
right,
just-
why couldn't they
he
mute
was-
him? if
He was just
behind
jumping
the
up and he was like, whoa, you know. He wasn't behind he was in the shot.
camera? Okay.
Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
You know, this takes me back to the Star Trek: The Next Generation. That's what it reminds me of. In the very first episode, the camera gets hit, and I wasn't, and other people were not sure if it was Titan engineering or people kept hitting the camera. You know?
That's in
That-
the first episode of TNG.
Yeah. But I think it was more people hitting the camera. They kept bumping the camera, so it might have been a small place at first, and then it expanded. I don't know. Maybe they were nervous. I don't know. I wouldn't say. But at the scene at the very first episode, the camera kept getting hit, and it was an engineering. Yeah.
So was Quark actually being chivalrous here, or was he just trying to, like, say, "Oh, don't get with Worf, get with me"?
Is that Jake smiling in the background?
Yes.
He's being Quark, and that's why we love him.
Holding that smile a little weirdly long, Jake.
It's like your friends laughing at you.
He was trying to do it for like an outtake or something.
No, she doesn't love
Everyone
you.
wants a little piece of Ezri on this station.
How many waistcoats does he own? He's always looking snazzy walking around the station.
There's so much less of Ezri to go around though. It's like 4'11".
Don't say it like that.
You don't. She.
Oh, like an old
Ezri
man
can
collar in his
choose.
suit.
She doesn't go around.
I mean, Jadzia did.
Oh yeah, Jetsia did.
What? Just because she went on one day with a
How
Galamite?
about
I've got one day with that Galanite.
how about the Maori guy that was
She
doing
had
the
a
fire
relationship
dance and
with him
her
before Worf.
bachelorette party?
Don't Sleevok
No.
shame our characters.
Oh,
Right.
sleeve up.
Curzon was pretty. Curzon and Cisco were pretty promiscuous on Ryza, so we're not judging them. So that's pretty.
Don't Sleevok shame
Uh,
Julian Bashir.
Yeah, he got well.
Why has he
Poor
got a plate
Quark.
on top of a plate like that?
Well, he's
Charge your plate, don't
civilized.
you
It's
know?
like his old man tray. He's like
No, it's because that's a metal bowl, and it's gonna get condensation on the bottom, and it's gonna mess with the wooden table.
You think Klingons would
It's gonna
care
leave a
about that?
stain. They should. I mean,
My wooden
I
table is
have a
all
mug here.
screwed up from that. I don't care.
I have a mug here, and I lost my coaster, so now I have it on the back of a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's very important. You got to
Good.
keep the wood safe.
Right.
Keep it safe. Keep it secret.
Yes. A steaming hot mug of mildly cold water.
Is that the Janeway mug? Did you get that yet?
No, that's supposed to ship in November.
Oh. Okay.
Also, that
Let
would
us
hold a
know.
lot of water. That's too much water.
I'm waiting for you to get that because that's really cool that you got that.
Got a response core? There we go.
Good advice. Yeah.
A very poetic way of saying, getting old sucks.
I think Klingon culture. Because
Yeah, he basically just served them right there.
I think because I remember Riker saying, "Speak for yourself, sir. I plan to live forever."
So it's like he's dead there.
He's just
So far, so
Wake
good.
up, Martok.
he
Pensive.
doesn't even have the opportunity to get back at core because he's just frail and worthless now. He's vulnerable. It's not satisfying to get revenge on someone with Klingon Alzheimer's. Not worthless. Vulnerable. Different word.
Yeah, better. I mean, the guy was talking about 23rd century cloaking devices being new and not enough engineers to work on them. So they don't have a concept of retirement in their culture. They should just come up with Social Security.
Social Security, if they send like a warrior to your house every so often so you can beat him up, kill him. Just keep,
Shape.
That's what all the slave species are for in the Klingon Empire. You arm them, send them to an old person's house, and if the old person dies, then they get an honorable death. Otherwise, they get to, keep killing.
I mean, maybe. It depends whether the Klingons think that it's a fair fight.
Rational.
Because if it's a fair fight, it's not really an honorable death. It needs to
Yeah,
be
but-
unfair.
It should be an old Klingon and a weak species.
No, they need to be strong. The worse the odds, the more honorable it is when you win.
There's nothing more honorable than victory.
So the Dominicans see through Klingon cloaks? Is that what was just said when they
Yeah.
said it? Okay.
Somehow. Space magic. It's never going to
mean-
come up again. Don't worry about it.
I mean, the
Michael
ships
has
were
pointed
both
out-
heavily damaged, so it's conceivable that they are leaking, like in the way that the Romulans do.
True,
Maybe.
true.
So if there's nothing more honorable than victory, but there's
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know
If
if
you
the
get-
Klingons think that.
No,
You know,
that's
I
a
think that maybe
Klingon
just we
quote.
do.
That's what Worf
Who
said.
says that?
Worf.
It's definitely.
Worf said that.
I mean,
I
that's the
remember
whole
that.
motto of Klingon culture. Victory
Worf
or
says
death.
there's nothing more honorable than victory. When they're talking about Klingons going to go and fight in the try to avoid confrontation, yada yada.
Yeah,
what
but,
could be
like,
more honorable than
It
victory?
depends on what kind of victory you're talking about. Like,
Certainly not a moral
you-
victory.
if you steal candy from the baby, is it victory? Probably. Is it good? No,
True.
it's not very honorable.
But my point is
It's
just that if
slightly
nothing is more honorable than victory, then how come it's
Klingons are like,
dishonorable if
yeah,
you've
it's
been so
honorable.
victorious you die of old age? Why is that the thing?
Yeah.
It's true.
Because you need to go out in battle.
I
That's
guess
just
But,
their way.
nothing-
but that would be
haven't
dishonorable
signed
because
up.
you lost.
I don't think they were thinking that far when they came up with the ethos of their culture.
I don't think they
Be
thought about it
wary,
at all.
be-
They just wanted an excuse to stab
Be
someone.
wary
I mean,
of old men in professions where men die young.
Yeah, it means they're not doing their work.
Kind of.
It means
Yeah.
they were lazy and hiding in the
I mean,
back.
look, that's
napping in the
that's not
break
true,
room.
actually. I mean, like, we have great general. Anyway,
Because there's some really old lumberjacks who learned early to dodge the trees.
Yeah.
A noble
Generals
sacrifice.
probably didn't.
you didn't say they all.
Generals-
were favorites. Yeah.
Generals probably didn't serve as infantry. Generals didn't get a battlefield commission to general from private.
What do you mean? It happens in Star Trek all the time. It's the
Yeah.
Navy, but same thing.
Yeah, usually not. But I think Colin Powell came up from the enlisted, and then also I was thinking
He was
Marine
born in the
General James Mattis.
Cathalolans. So I would guess Klingons would be very willing to volunteer to be on the sacrifice ship, because that's an honorable death, right? That counts.
Yeah, I think that's where they
It's
put.
the most
into it.
honorable
That's where they
song
put you
and
after
story.
You get it up to 100 or something, you know.
How many honor
can
points
get
do you
risky
need to go
mission.
to Klingon Valhalla? Is
If
there
you
a
get
rating
song and
system?
story, you're auto Valhalla.
If you don't get enough points, do you just stay in Greythor forever, or do you get to get a retry at some point?
I don't know.
Barge
The
of the
Klingons
Dead.
just kind of do what they want. They probably fight their way into it.
I mean, we have the B'Elanna
have to fight your
episode,
way
so
out of Greythor?
Yeah, we'll answer the story about Klingon Purgatory when we get to the Voyager episode with Barge of the
I don't think that episode really resolves it, honestly.
Yes, because
There's just
your
a
daughter
spooky
has
ship.
to get you out of Greythor, and so
She
you
just
can,
chooses not to believe in that, does she not?
look, what I'm saying is,
She's
We'll
like,
get to
it's
it.
too much. I don't believe in it now.
we'll
I
get
don't
to
on
it.
the ship.
We'll get to it.
Eventually, in like a year and a half.
Yeah, I'm definitely postponing the question.
I've just finished watching
What happens
Voyager again.
after
Lol.
we die? Yeah, I'm postponing that question for sure.
Although I did skip like half of it because a lot of the episodes flop.
Well,
hope
when
we
we
get
do
to
our watch along, we're not skipping nothing.
Except the intro.
No skipping the intro.
Maybe the intro.
This is a really long conversation to basically say, hey, Core, go and sacrifice yourself on that ship. That's all we need to say.
So in BattleTech, clan warriors that dishonor themselves, they get welded into the cockpit of a Hunchback 2C, and they just either die in it or they redeem themselves, which is the
See, this-
Hunchback 2C is kind of
This
a
is what old
mediocre mech.
This is what the old Klingons are for, is to like convince other old Klingons to go and die in battle. That's why you need a few old ones around.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let's see. In Warhammer 40,000, if you're a Space Marine and you're too injured to like continue as a Space Marine, they put you in the cybernetic coffin and then install that in a dreadnought, and now you're just inside of a giant mech.
Why can't
forever.
you just be a space office worker?
Nope.
What,
There are no space officers.
Why don't
only
we have
patrols.
space logistics officers? Why does everyone have to be a warrior?
Mm.
Can't
Well,
people retire?
like-
What's wrong with retiring?
In the 40k
Yeah, you
universe,
don't-
it's
nobody lives
you
that
don't
long.
have a choice.
So like
Look,
the ships in
Someone cares
Warhammer
about
40,000, their FTL works on the fact that you're traversing the void, which is basically hell. And when you get to the other side where you're going, if like half your crew survived and didn't end up stuck in eternal torment in hell, then it was a good jump.
Yep.
I'm glad someone's doing something for Jetsy.
Or
Is
they don't all
Warhammer
look
just
the same,
a thing that's all about
get
being
turned by
edgy?
chaos.
It's pretty.
like no one's the good guy in Warhammer.
It invented the term grimdark.
Yep.
So yes, it's
It's
explicitly
literally-
designed to be edgy.
Yeah, they basically like a lot of the stuff technology runs on feeding low-level psychers into like furnaces. Like they're just like throwing people into furnaces.
Yeah,
to
like the
extract
value of
toxic
people
energy.
in that universe is negative. If you're a person, you're just like you have no value in 40k universe.
This is
There's,
what old
like,
Klingons are for.
if
They
you're-
hand you the bottle of liquor when you need it most.
If you're a psyker, if you're not powerful enough
Oh.
to be useful, you
Thor's
get put
doing
into
the
the
thing.
furnace.
He's
If you're
doing
too
the thing.
powerful, you
He's
get
doing it.
executed because you're a threat to the Empire. So like, you have a
She's
very
reading the
narrow.
sonar.
How come Warhammer people can't someone just go, no, I'm gonna go live on a farming colony and just hang out there?
Well, you can do that, but then you probably get killed by Tyranid gene stealers or something.
So
Hypo sprays aren't honorable.
great. But
Look at the time, Warp.
yeah, but Worf is ready to avenge Jadzia, and Kor fell on his sword.
Well, Worf already got Jadzia into Stovacor
True.
with the shipyard and the star.
Yeah. Forgot about that.
Martok, what do you mean it doesn't seem possible? You thought it was possible when you sent Worf to do it. I'm still not clear on what Dahar Master actually means. What's Dahar?
It means you're like elite.
Martial art.
Klingons don't have martial arts. They run up and just swing wildly.
Yeah.
He held it off very well. Thanks for asking.
See, Worf started the episode by talking about Davy Crockett and the Alamo, saying that if you believe in him as a legend, then he died in a hero's death. But if he was just a man, then it doesn't matter how he died. So now we establish Kor as a legend.
A racist old legend.
Robert E. Lee.
No, we don't need to sing over this. We can just let the Klingons do the singing. Thank you.
My Virginia, right or wrong?
It was definitely wrong. That's just nationalism. Well, it wasn't nationalism. It was actually treason. But it was, you know, the state equivalent of nationalism.
Mm-hmm.
Sedition.
Secession.
Now all the Dahar Masters are gone.
I mean, they can make more. They have a whole empire. Surely there wasn't just 3 in the whole place.
I don't see any more.
Just because they're
I
not
don't
on
think
screen.
any of those. I don't think those other people were Dahar Masters. I think it was just Kor.
Oh, this is a dark episode coming up.
Yeah. Literally, because it was hard to make the thumbnail because everything's so dimly lit. Alright, the Siege of AR-558. And let's see if the countdown works again. It does.
Yes.
Good
Yay!
job, Ryan. Man, you're so good at programming, Ryan. You made a functional countdown.
Yeah, and it only took you 7 seasons of TNG and DS9 to fix it.
Well, the previous solution was working. It's just
Yeah, it was.
I changed the setup.
I'm adding to your joke. No, and by the way, this is a wonderful, elegant solution because we don't have to pester you anymore.
I don't know if elegant is the right answer. It is effective.
Are you watching the
It's
Discord?
a
Like, look at
functional
how
solution.
It certainly is.
Helvetica and everything.
I don't know,
I mean, it's all the way over.
I can check what font it is.
It's not Star
Yeah.
Trek font. Get
not
that in
Star
Star
Trek
Trek font.
It's Arial.
Put it in Klingon. Put it in Klingon.
Hang on, 10
It's
seconds,
symbols.
everybody get ready. It's in Arial font, yes.
Okay.
Press play in
That's
5,
when I always use
4,
Arial.
3, 2, 1. Play, because Arial
At
is
least
the
it's not-
default.
At least it's not Comic Sans. That would be really.
Arial is a Helvetica clone. It's just a serif font.
Arial
so
64-point font,
Chug,
Arial,
wah,
anti-aliasing on.
I hate to interrupt the typography discussion, but this episode starts with Max Grudenchik singing badly on purpose, which, you know, he can actually sing, so.
Like he can play baseball.
Yes, that too.
Is he? Seriously? Wow.
Also,
Can actually sing.
That's really good. Thank you for
Can he-
Yes, he's a good singer. He's actually he does the lounge style stuff the same as Vic Fontaine / Jimmy Darren does.
Just seems
He sings the opening song and the closing song on the Deep Space Nine documentary.
the character just sings bad.
Along with Damar and this guy.
Well, the closing song, yes, it's with Damar and
Big fan.
Wei Yun.
he needs a comedian. He could get that hologram. Oh, what's his name? The awful comedian.
Oh,
Joe Piscopo.
Joe Piscopo, yeah.
Joe
He could get a
Piscopo?
Piscopo program.
Why is there an exclamation mark on the timer?
There's not.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there is in the oh, it has reduced video or audio quality according to it's a
Discord
thing. Discord's putting an exclamation mark on it.
Sorry.
Due to network conditions.
I don't know. I mean, I also just set it to only go at 15 frames per second on Discord, so maybe that's what it's talking about.
That's probably it is.
That's what.
I mean, he is hosting another stream, so that's probably eating up the
And
bandwidth.
also, literally only needs 1 frame per second. So.
Unfortunately, 15 is the lowest I can go. Otherwise, I'd probably put it to like 4.
Is that in Vegas that I'm going to next week? I am going to Vegas next week.
So you're going to see James Darren.
Is that in Vegas?
I don't think James Darren is performing in Vegas right now.
I mean,
is he alive?
Oh yeah, he's still around.
I mean, in these episodes, are they in Vegas?
Yeah,
well,
Vic Fontaine's
they're supposed
lounge
to be
is in the Vegas
not.
casino. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know Vic Fontaine's is in Vegas.
I made fun of Vegas because.
Yeah, they mentioned the casino all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. James Darren is currently 85 years old.
Wow.
How old?
And he's still going. 85.
Wow.
85.
So he was actually pretty old when this was filmed.
Still going.
It doesn't look 55 or whatever.
He was born in 1936. This episode was sometime in the 90s, so yeah, he would have been.
Wow.
99.
Late 50s.
Wow.
Sorry.
I guess like James Lipton always looked like 40 max when he was 80, so it happens.
I mean, he does have gray hair. He doesn't look that young.
True.
He just moisturizes his face.
Still going.
He moisturizes his face.
It's very important to moisturize. Everybody moisturize, and you'll look exactly like James Darren in your late 50s.
Also, anger causes wrinkles, so don't get angry.
Just chill. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Except it's not. Everything's actually turning awful. If you look at like the World News subreddit, everything's.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
So, I worked out with my cousin yesterday. My cousin is 52 years old. He works out every day. He's got a 6-pack. It's really obnoxious.
Yeah.
But
Fun
a
fact,
6-pack is mostly diet.
Jimmy Darren co-starred with famous Captain James T. Kirk in the cop show T.J. Hooker in the 80s.
Oh wow!
What did
which
he
was also
sing
created
in
by
T.J.
Gene
Hooker?
Roddenberry, by the way.
Here's another
he
fun
didn't
fact.
just
James
start to
Darren
keep-
auditioned
that or
for Vic
something?
Fontaine. Was he just went into the studio and just was James Darren, and they're like, "Yep, you're in."
I mean, what else would you do?
He didn't play a role. He just talked about himself. He didn't read lines or anything. He just talked to people, and they hired him.
Yeah.
Basically, he's just playing himself anyways. So
Yeah. Vic Fontaine is just James Darren.
I thought you meant Quark.
Worst
Oh,
really bad thing.
No, Quark is not James Darren. He does not sing.
No. But does he read off a script?
War is
Yes.
terrible.
Okay.
Chintaga, that was the place with those the weapon
Uh,
platforms in orbit. I went
yeah.
and took it over. And
Yeah,
they had to
that
blow up
was
the
pretty
asteroid.
Yeah.
I wonder if the actors can maybe say what they, they can say what they want, or they have to always follow the script. I mean,
Oh no,
I know
they
they do
they have
sometimes.
to follow the script. There's no ad libbing. There have been people from the show have talked about this. You weren't allowed to ad lib anything.
Really?
You can't use
Yeah,
any
there was a
abbreviations.
story-
You can't use any contractions if it's not in the script. It has to be exactly word for word, letter for letter in the script.
I mean, I
like
knew
somebody dropped an "and" or something, and they're like, we're gonna have to run this by the writers. You can't do that.
I knew some stuff they say they don't have to be in the script, but I wonder.
They were very strict.
I wonder if they say everything.
So when Worf says
I
a
wonder-
millennia ago, I have to blame the writer and not the
Yes.
not the actor.
I wonder if they
I
could
hate
say
that
everything
line so
on. I wonder if they could say everything that's off the script, but okay.
Nope,
Not a
it
single
definitively-
letter can be off the script. Can be not on the
Okay.
script.
Okay.
Yeah, 100% of the dialogue is.
Very strict.
Is that typical of television?
I don't.
No,
Not
maybe
always.
because it was made in the 90s, but in general, I mean,
I wouldn't expect it's
it's
that
still the
strict. Like
same.
Michael Dorn there could not have said there. He has to say they are.
yeah.
And now everything's really dark and hard to make thumbnails.
Oh, you know
out
who
of.
was talking about it? It was Will Robinson, the guy who played Will Robinson. In this episode, he was talking about how he changed the line and they went nuts. It was about this exact episode.
Wait, the guy who played Will Robinson is in this episode?
Yeah, he's one of the soldiers and he gets
Is he
gets
blonde?
killed.
Esri man? Esri's
he's-
bud? The engineer?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Robert Picardo. Oh no, I heard this from the Delta Flyers podcast is where I heard it. Where they were talking about how Robert Picardo, the doctor, he was able to get some of his own lines through, and they were asking him, was like, how can you do that? They won't let us say anything we want. It's like, no, you just have to suggest it to the authors in such a way that they think it's their idea.
Right.
You have to do that like a couple weeks beforehand. And they write it in. So the doctor was able to get some of his own lines in that he thought
See,
were
they're
good.
taking a leave it, right?
I mean, that's a good tip in
Follow the
general.
rules, right?
That's how long cons work.
No.
There's a triangle, but it's the same triangle. It doesn't count as much as I want it to. I mean, I guess I could just say it counts because it's my stream. I can do what I want. But no, it doesn't count.
I don't think this opening scene counts. This is basically the scene that opening scene that we'd already seen, so it wouldn't count.
Anyway, it is currently 64 degrees and cloudy, 7% chance of precipitation.
Yeah.
A visibility of 8.7 miles. Humidity is currently 83%. Good air quality today, 48, where up to 100 is considered very good, 48 right now.
Okay, Ryan, the weatherman.
No forest fires around. I've only had one time where there was a forest fire that blew into this area, the smoke, and it was just orange outside. Everything was orange. It's like a real-life Mexico filter.
Yeah.
That was the smoke from all the fires.
It's
Yep.
pretty bad in parts of California. I saw this one person. They had to like evacuate their house in like 2 or 3 hours. And my cat is not getting into a cage for nothing, but
As for the
I'd be
record,
so-
if anyone here is ever told to evacuate for a forest fire, just leave.
yeah.
Don't pack all your valuable things, get strict necessities, and just leave.
I know someone that lives in California. And she's from here. No, Ryan's from California.
Yes. Oh, and Captain Cisco almost got shot. Almost got shot? Captain Cisco almost got shot by Tuco Salamanca.
Hot. Oh my.
You know,
Vargas. His name's not Vargas. His
That's
Tuco.
hot. That's hot.
so everyone's the episode where
Stop distracting yourself.
Julian and Jake go to that medical triage thing was kind of a hint build up to this one.
Kinda, yeah. Previously, we got to see the medical results of the frontline fighting. Now we get to see the frontline fighting.
So we're about to be introduced to the engineer in this episode who's trying to work on this.
Yep,
Who is
there he
played
is.
by actor
He's at the
actor
top of
Bill
the frame.
Mooney. who in his childhood played Will Robinson on the original Lost in Space, and as an adult was a regular on Babylon 5. So this episode was kind of an olive branch between the two shows.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He was a personal friend of Ira Bear, and Ira Bear. I'm gonna link a interview. Ira Bear wanted to have him play a alien in an earlier episode, and he said, "No, I'm not doing any more aliens," because he did an alien on Babylon 5 and he hated it.
Oh, that's a good one. If you ever know the writer of a sci-fi show and have a chance to play an alien or a non-alien, pick non-alien.
All right, I think I found the point in the interview where he talks about how they wouldn't let him change a line. So-
In
I like
general,
that Will Robinson is holding a hot glue gun
Yeah.
with an LED.
in general,
Still not sure how
there's a lot of strict controls. Like I remember Alfred Hitchcock, like they would want directors, the studio would want directors to give them multiple takes, so the editor in the editing room can pick whatever takes that he wants or shot or angles that he wants. And Hitchcock only sent them one angle of every shot. Like, you're not gonna change my movie at all.
Here, I found the interview. I found the timestamp. So here it is, where Bill Mummy is explaining during the filming this episode,
Well,
he was not allowed to add a single word into.
We can't watch that right now.
No, I know. I'm just sharing it for people on Discord.
Okay.
Thank you. There's no reason for Quark to be here. Like,
There's no reason for Quark to reference mail orders because it's the future.
yeah.
What's mail?
Yeah.
This is the best line of the whole show.
The mail order line?
No, right? Like, these people aren't humans or something. And then he goes into, because I think there was a book called Quotable Star Trek, and it's definitely something that haunts you. It's that these humans, they're nice and democratic and they're peaceful, but
As long as their bellies are full and their holosuites are working.
mm-hmm.
They say that basically society is 3 days without food away from total revolt.
Napoleon said that every man is 3 meals away from a revolution. But take away their creature comforts, deprive them of food, sleep.
Yes, he's saying the lines.
We can hear them, thank you.
I can hear what they're saying.
Ready for some mild racism against Klingons? Now, I say mild because the Klingons would probably actually like that description, but it is a stereotype.
The Klingons do everything.
I mean, by the way, hunger will drive you crazy in itself. Let's not go there.
Fun fact, speaking of food, Wookiees have 8 square meals a day.
Why do they have to be square?
Because that's Star Wars and Star Trek took the triangles.
Yeah.
They haven't discovered the bestagon hexagon yet.
What does square meal even mean?
Yeah, so it comes from the days when you used to go to the local store.
For the food pyramid, there was the food square.
The food square?
Grains, meats, dairy, and I don't know, something else, fats. And you're supposed to have like an equal amount of each thing.
Okay, back in the day when there was a general store, FDR had the New Deal. Truman had the Square Deal. So a square deal is an honest deal. So a square meal is you got the turkey with the potatoes and the cranberry sauce.
So this random website says it's a nautical term from the days of old sailing ships where they were eaten off square-shaped wooden plates.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, based on this one random website.
I don't know that I believe that.
That
The
makes
true
sense.
etymology is probably lost to the annals of time.
It might just be what an interviewer say that the word square just used to mean kind of honest.
No, it's
And,
because
yeah.
they're called square meals because square meals are supposed to be nice and balanced and healthy. And only squares eat that kind of food. Cool
Nah.
people eat junk food.
Yeah. When someone comes back from war, it's very hard to find anyone to relate to them.
Finally, he shut up. I wouldn't say in his life, Tuco.
Later, I was gonna say later on he becomes a drug lord.
Is that to cope with this?
You see him in Training Day? Oh man, it's funny for him to go from this to like Training Day and Breaking Bad, and
I don't know. Breaking Bad Tuco reminds me a lot of Vargas, actually. I feel like they're very similar performances.
I think he only has one type of performance.
Why do we hear birds? What's with the birds?
Gear review.
I'm sorry.
Just
There's
get a
actually
shotgun
birds.
and shoot the birds or something.
No, and then I also pointed the cam at my cat, so you
I
guys.
was gonna say, it doesn't want to scare the cat off.
The birds.
There are government drones right outside your window and you're not doing anything about it?
So
Can we put my cat on stream for a second?
I suppose. Maybe. I have to do some setup.
is the cat sleeping?
Yeah, never
Yeah.
mind then. I don't mean to disturb you.
Let the cat sleep. A few days ago, when I went to go get the mail, there was a bird that had, I guess, bedded down in some leaves against my house between the house and the garbage cans. And when I went outside, it like freaked out and it flew away. I go, oh, what was that bird doing? It didn't seem right. It couldn't really fly right. I think it was hurt or something. Anyway, I was like, well, I guess it's gone. And then yesterday when I went to leave my house, it was there again and it freaked out. This time it flew into my garage. So I spent like 30 minutes chasing it around my garage, and I finally caught it in my hand and took it outside and let it go. And it flew about 6 feet and just plopped down in the grass and was just looking at me. I was like, something's
I
not
saw
right.
both an episode of Star Trek and an episode of Breaking Bad about this. It's all
What's
coming
that?
together.
Oh, the Enterprise episode with the bat?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like that. It went up to like
And
it went
Hoshi
into the
walks in and it
rafters
just
my
lands in her hand. It's
garage.
like, what are you guys freaking out about? It's just a bat. Chill.
Yeah,
Oh, we're playing so much
No.
sad music this episode.
we hope.
Thank you, Rand,
Actually,
for-
just the one sad song playing over and over again. But, you know, a lot of volume.
Have you ever
Yep.
heard about the Battle of Bastogne in World
No.
War II?
No.
It was like a handful of airborne troops in the city of Bastogne or village of Bastogne that was surrounded by like 3 armored German divisions, and they held it. Yeah, just a handful of paratroopers with like a couple 88 millimeter guns, and they held it against all these tanks. They sent the guy in to like treat for their surrender, and he's like, "Surrender? Nuts to that!" And the German was like, was is nuts? Was is nuts? It's like, it means get lost.
It was really hard.
How come his
parachuting
subordinate
into-
was responding in English?
when he said,
Well,
"What's
the
nuts?"
German commander was
They
saying,
sent-
"Was
they
ist
sent
nuts?"
a-
And then
they
the
sent-
guy who was reporting
sent
back said it in
German-
English.
No, it was another American talking to him.
I like the blade sharpening that Starfleet has.
Why do they have blades? I mean, I guess for, you know, cutting things, but are you supposed to stab people with it? Is that a combat knife? Is it a stabbing knife or is it a box knife?
It it implies that they're getting ready for hand-to-hand combat. That's how tough this front line is.
God, you're just gonna blunt it if you throw it in the ground like that. You spend so much. No wonder he has to sharpen it all the time.
Was Starship Troopers already released, or was it like contemporary to this?
What troopers? Starship Troopers?
Starship Troopers, that Rico movie.
Starship Troopers was 97, so contemporary.
Okay, thanks. The Robert Heinlein book is pretty good too. Oh, and by the way, when this cut to commercial, I remember watching it live in like 98, 97, whatever. How did we get Jem'Hadar holograms? And they're just using it to judge how many...
Why don't the Jem'Hadar
Are
just
they
drop a
Jem'Hadar
torpedo?
emergency combat holograms? Because they don't want to destroy the thing, the
Why?
communications relay.
They can make another
Can they
one.
just build a new one? Yeah. Why don't they just annihilate this from orbit and build a new one?
Isn't it just a communications node anyway? It's not important to them.
I believe it's encrypted, so we're kind of like fighting for the Enigma.
Is that Quark? Quark just
So-
fell?
So, Quark's fine. He might have tripped, but he's fine. Yeah, they should absolutely just bomb this place from orbit.
What's this about the siege of Bastogne?
We like World War II history.
It was all about how the Germans weren't fond of cashews, I believe. Maybe it was pecans.
And how paratroopers would be shot out of the sky and
You know,
would land several miles
I heard
apart.
such great things about pecans, and then I tried some, and they were gross.
Pecan pie is delicious, though.
Pecan pie is delicious. Just straight pecans, absolutely not. It was the worst nut I've ever eaten.
I mean, pecan pie is 60% sugar. So
Yeah.
of course it's delicious.
True.
And sugar is delicious.
It is
so
delicious.
it's 60% delicious.
It's only delicious because
It's
your tongue
100%
tells you the
delicious.
source of calories. So it's not really delicious. It's just calories.
What do you mean it's not actually delicious? It's definitely delicious if it tastes delicious.
Evolution has just taught you that it's delicious.
That's what delicious is. It's what you
Yeah, like
perceive.
literally.
Like,
A completely subjective thing. So yes, that's definitely what it is.
You know, I mean, I have a comment I need to respond here to. I'll just say, fiber is very important to your diet. Everyone make sure you're getting enough fiber. It's good for you. Like pasta has a lot of fiber, but you can't eat that much pasta every day.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of cereals have really good fiber. You can get fiber supplements, but just get some fiber. It's important.
Buy some Metamucil.
Alright.
Yeah, peace treaty with the Jem'Hadar. Quark, where have you been alive? Or living under a rock?
And do they have a bomb?
Yeah, this is pretty crazy about being in a war. You have to order people you know and love to dangerous missions.
There's that bit in the commander's chest where Troy had to order Geordi to die.
Yeah.
Pick her least favorite engineer to go into the tube and kill himself.
I mean, that's the chief engineer's job, so she picked right.
She could have picked some random extra.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have to be Geordi.
Yeah, but if you need it done right, it has to be the chief engineer.
Yeah, you pick the person most likely to succeed because it's 1,100 people's lives.
Just one. Yeah.
It's a good lesson in command. I mean, it's really good that Starfleet has that on the command test.
Maybe if Geordi had tried to take her on a date before, she would have been more willing to order that.
Or less willing, right?
No, more willing. It's Geordi.
I'm not gonna.
Have you seen Geordi's dates? They're awful.
Yeah, it's actually I'm
The dates he
remembering
plans,
now.
they're just
I'm
deeply
remembering.
uncomfortable.
Even what he wears is just criminal. It's like, come on, guy, like go make a friend who knows something about fashion and wear green shoelaces or something.
So do you think people on the Enterprise do laundry, or do they just recycle their clothes when they're done with them?
We like having wardrobes.
I mean,
I would think.
I feel like we've seen it before where people have a wardrobe, but I don't. I know that
We don't
Lita
really
has
see-
a wardrobe
We don't really see wardrobes in Star Trek.
because Max Grodenchik's character, whose name I know, he laments that
Rom.
he doesn't have enough space to fit all our clothes in his room. Rom. Which you would think is easier to remember than Max Grodenchik.
Yeah, no, I don't know how you do that.
Or Grodenchik. I don't know.
I don't know.
This kind of reminds me of the film Jarhead a little bit with Max, Jake Gyllenhaal, but it just talks about how there's so much waiting in war and you're so bored 90% of the time, and it's only when crap hits the fan then you have crazy stuff like this
I've heard
episode.
that. Hurry up!
I
And wait.
highly recommend the Onion video about the most realistic Call of Duty game.
I was thinking of that. Yes, it's great.
I've never seen that.
Highly recommend. In
It
fact, I'll
speaks
just
to this
put a
point,
link and
yes.
post it in Discord.
Nice binoculars Starfleet has. It's kind of like the Predator one. Okay.
All right. Are we ready for some tragedy?
Oh no.
At least a little bit of tragedy.
Or Ferengi screaming, right? That's always a little bit of change up.
It's somewhat impressive that they managed to turn the dumbest scream I've ever heard into actually kind of sad.
Yeah, you're right. They do a good job.
Most of the time, like literally every other time we've heard it, it's a joke.
Yeah. But here it's like realistic because it's within the species and universe.
Oh, you're right.
And yeah, Quark heard that.
We should just stop war, guys. I don't believe in war.
I mean, it's happening, so you better start believing real quick. How many troops are in a column? What is... I know columns are a thing in real life, but does that actually mean a specific number, or is that just a formation that any number of troops can be in? It's fine. He can get a new leg. It's not a big deal.
But that's fine.
Yeah, but I love Breaking Bad also because when the cop, the brother-in-law, when he has to get physical therapy and like learn how to walk again, that's a very difficult time, and like also not knowing if he'll ever walk again. PT, and also I remember there's one scene when his wife, the cop, his wife is like encouraging him to do well, and she claps when he takes one step, but he's so frustrated that like that one step took all that effort that he's not happy when she applauds. So it's like it breaks up your relationships, it breaks up your self-esteem.
What does that say on the metal casing there? Capacis... Hang on, let me turn off the subtitles. They're in the way. I got a screenshot, so I'm going to put that in Paint and rotate it so I can read it better. Because it's really hard to see.
Self, sealing,
I see capacitor.
stem,
Yeah.
fault.
Flux capacitor.
Capacit something inlet. It's cut after the T. Capacity inlet.
Capacitator.
And then there's another word to the left of capacity or capacitor, but you can only see the very tail end of the last letter.
Flux. Has to be
That-
flux.
Flux capacitor inlet.
Yeah. And they did that knowing that 22 years later, some nerds will be poring over this on some show. And,
Did they know that?
analyzing it. Yeah, they did.
So
He's
do you
got you on
suppose that's
drugs, Nog.
yeah?
He probably
Painkillers are
desensitized
good
the
drugs.
nerves.
So that shot of one leg and one half leg under the blanket. Do you suppose those were
His
like just
leg is bent.
two rolls of something?
No, there's just a hole in the table, and he's got
Or
his leg
yeah.
tucked in.
I didn't notice any feet, any toes sticking up.
It was covered by a blanket. I saw the feet.
Rangy toes.
They do have toes.
Yes.
It's like boot camp or something.
It's like what?
Boot camp,
Yeah.
you know, Marine
Military.
camp.
Yeah, yeah. Military training. Which I could never pass.
So hypothetically, if one of the mines just
didn't have
happened
to
to
do
be
that.
inside one of them right now, do they explode?
That's a good question.
Well, I guess
Is that-
so.
Is that the phase cloak technology that Admiral Pressman was jailed for?
I don't think so. It,
No,
I think it's just regular
subspace.
cloak.
space.
Okay.
Oh, subspace.
Yep.
Yeah, the fictional
Subspace
place
magic.
that just fixes everything when you need it to. We need to talk about how these mines are not in the same place as them. Just say they're in
It's
subspace.
it's
Okay.
subspace time, I think.
I don't know, honestly.
Ask, you know who you can ask?
No.
You can ask Beverly Crusher.
Subspace is below space time.
Yes, but he's asking, does
What do you mean
subspace
below?
have its own space-time continuum?
There is
Oh.
time
Beverly
in
was
subspace,
inside of a
so I
subspace
assume there's
bubble for-
subspace time.
Quite a while.
And it stretches the space behind you and shortens the space in front of you.
Isn't
Well, that's
subspace?
warp
That's how warp
technology.
travel works.
Isn't
That's an
subspace just
Alcubierre
alternate
drive.
universes? Because they mentioned subspace domains, and it's just an alternate universe whenever they go there.
Yeah, like those creatures that suck Riker into the thingy.
Yeah.
And then why is there a warp coil inside a warp core engine?
Why
mean,
haven't they come through
that'd be kinda
already? What
weird.
are they waiting for?
This is kind of reminiscent of the moment in Rocks and Shoals where everybody's talking about whether or not they should take advantage of the Jem'Hadar who have been weakened by
Just terminate
Kevon's
my
battle plan.
right.
Mm.
So now they're switching these weapons against the Jem'Hadar when they normally wouldn't use such things. But
Yeah.
you know what? With
Desperate
choice
times.
between them and
Yeah,
us, there
well,
is no
they
choice.
started it.
Just for time.
Have we ever seen someone completely discharge a phaser before? Like
run out
just
of
shoot a
battery?
phaser until it's dead. Yeah.
No.
I think
think it's
Tom
how
Paris
they-
does it at one point when he makes a modified phaser out of junk.
Like they overload the phaser, like short circuit it, but they never just let it exhaust unless it's that time Tom
And
Paris.
they're also
was
not
running.
going to run out of battery in this episode either.
They're not using lithium ion.
It's not
But-
even the. I guess they don't know what kind of battle it's going to be. But they had absolutely no chance to run out of ammo in their guns because they just come right over the wall and start stabbing.
These shots are so dark, my monitor doesn't really know what to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, this set is kind of small for like a big battle. I mean, it's not going to be Helm's Deep for sure. But they do a great job because it's like you don't know what's around the corner.
It's a great battle music. They'll strike some fear into the Jem'Hadar.
And Vincent, when was this thing?
That looks
There
like
was
a bomb.
some-
Is that a bomb?
There was some ancient Mexican or Central American tribe that had these like death whistles. It sounded like horrific screaming that they
Yeah.
would blow when they were going into battle. And we just have Vic Fontaine.
Yeah.
So I assume that is in fact a bomb next to Nog, and the idea is if the Jem'Hadar get in and kill everybody else, then they can kill Nog without him becoming a prisoner. Blow him up.
Mm. Nog's like, lol, you're coming with me.
Aztec death whistle.
That's what the
Hello,
Valkyries
my name
were
is
also.
Ensign Nog. Welcome to the sick bay.
They were just screaming fury to like intimidate the enemy, and
That episode of
That's what-
Voyager is pretty tragic.
Yeah, that episode is horrifying to watch.
Well, welcome to the
Which
bridge.
episode?
The one where
The one
the
where there's two
Vivians take over the
Voyagers.
ship and they have to self-destruct it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also,
Well, okay.
Oblivion,
We had a spare Voyager. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, we
There's
had a
also
spare
Oblivion
Havok.
where like it's just a duplicate Voyager crew and
Yeah, maybe
ship, and it
fair,
just
baby.
disintegrates into nothing.
one of the five most famous pieces of classical music, Ride of the Valkyries, is also based on that same mythological concept from.
It's based on I'll Be
Musical-
Seeing You by Frank Sinatra.
Okay. Intimidating your enemy with music, musical sirens, hideous sirens.
Don't remember your training, Jem'Hadar. Don't just run in there. Come on. Why aren't you cloaked? Sorry, shrouded.
You know, this is really
Oh.
trench warfare from World War One that they're showing.
Oh, we lost the
Now we
Vic
get
Fontaine
dramatic
instead of
music.
now we're getting sad music. Why aren't we getting I'll Be Seeing You over this?
This is why we had trench warfare, because running into machine gun fire isn't a successful military strategy.
I can
As if
grant
you're
your
10
wish,
to
Ryan,
1
I feel like.
advantage. That's what you need to overcome it.
So saith the Russians.
when you are attacking a position like this, the defenders have the advantage unless they're outnumbered 5-1.
Yeah.
So
You know what would give the
in.
attackers here an advantage? If they just bombed it
Orbital
from orbit.
bombardment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or maybe if they were like genetically engineered super soldiers as opposed to just regular humans. You know, if
Yeah,
you're like
still
genetically
in
engineered
World
super
War I
soldiers who can turn invisible and have immense strength and
It's-
incredible weapons that are super lethal.
We didn't have air power in World War One.
They could just go
Yes, we- sure they
invisible,
did.
walk behind the barricade, and shoot everyone in the back.
Yeah, they did.
Yep.
Yeah, but
They
remember,
sure
the
did.
Federation is like the Borg,
What?
but on steroids. They adapt too fast.
World War One,
Yeah.
you had observation balloons, you had biplanes, you had rudimentary bombers, all sorts of stuff.
Quark hears them coming.
Yeah, you had dogfights too in World War One.
With
So
his big
let me take
radars.
that all back.
He has the lobes for battle. Oh, Tuco got stabbed. I forgot Tuco died in this.
Does he? I don't
just
think he
died.
dies.
He just got stabbed
Yeah,
with
he
I
it.
think he, no, I
He's
think he
done.
survives, doesn't he? Or
No,
no,
the
is it-
dude with the necklace survives.
Oh, the dude with the necklace. Okay.
Oh, there goes Will.
Oh.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
See, his mistake there was he didn't realize he had no plot armor.
There was no robot to protect him.
Jesus, Quark, you didn't know who that was. You
He
didn't
heard
look
them.
before you
He-
fired.
He could
tell the
hear. He could
difference?
hear the heartbeat.
Yeah, Quark
It
wouldn't
was
mistake
Jem'Hadar
it.
heartbeat.
It wasn't a human heartbeat.
Have you ever like lived with somebody so long that you can tell their footsteps apart from other people's footsteps?
Yes?
Yes.
Yeah,
In fact,
Okay.
Brian asked
that's
earlier,
quite easy.
what do you call the pattern of someone's voice? I know the pattern of someone's steps is called a gait, G-A-I-T.
I don't know if that's pattern of steps per se. I think it's more the pattern they create when they
Right.
walk.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
sound of
that's
their
right.
footsteps. Yeah, sorry.
In this episode, the blurred screen to help syncing is totally worthless. It's
I
just
think it's
black.
I think it's generally more like the actual motion itself ear review as opposed
Yeah.
to like the sound.
Yeah.
But I think that
Yeah,
the two are linked, I
You could
guess.
probably, yeah. You could, yeah.
To grad school, they actually did a lot of work on gait, like recreating dinosaur gaits and such.
Oh, so gait is the way you walk, and
The way you
we
walk,
just
yeah.
say the sound of
The
his
path
gait.
their feet takes. So to speak.
No,
Yeah.
if this becomes a big controversy, it would be Gate.
Electric Gate.
Good one.
Yep, he survived. He's fine. Is he going to take his necklace with him?
Whoa, this is some. Whoa, they're having a disco down there.
That
It
looks
like
dangerous.
shark teeth.
I don't think
It
it's
looks like
supposed to do that.
Have you ever seen a real shark tooth? Looks like that Gemini thing that he's wearing.
A Ketracel white container.
Mhm.
I guess we don't verify that Tuco's dead. Just
He
that
just slumped over.
he might just be on the hospital ship, severely injured.
Yeah. Generally, though, in film and television, they show you who survived a battle and so if they didn't show him, we can assume he died.
Well, only because he's not an important character.
Yeah.
He's important to me.
You see right there, that's one of the advantages to being Klingon. After like a horrific battle that would cause most people PTSD, Klingons are just quite happy.
Worf wasn't
Yeah,
even
true.
here.
True.
He was on the Defiant. He missed out. No, you're blunting the knife again, man. Stop doing
Worf's
that.
just jealous.
Yeah,
He
you
didn't get
definitely
to
don't do
fight.
that.
What's with that guy throwing the knife in the ground? Just set it down. Put it on a table or something.
And sand is even worse for like a sharp edge than a table or whatever you want to hit it.
They used all their tables because they were stuck for 6 months or whatever.
Hey, we got the desk back.
Yeah.
Got it back in the same episode.
Yeah, we got it back in the same episode, but I'm just saying it's so wrong that he took.
They didn't even have to paint it.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. It's a
What does
really
that
hard
say on the
desk.
screen? That's such a chunky laptop.
It was 97. That was super thin back then.
1730.
Yeah, I even wonder if that was a real laptop.
And Nog's leg. A little footnote there. Get it? Footnote.
A footnote.
That was cute. You know, when you lose a limb, you even feel a phantom limb for months and weeks.
Yeah, we're going to get a whole plot about that
Oh, oops.
in 2 episodes. Not today,
Things
though.
where I learned it.
Let me close out this
No, it's-
timestamp
it's
because
not-
it's done.
We're not going to get Phantom Limb. He's going to get a new cloned limb, and he's going to have, like, Phantom Limp. But Phantom Limb is where you still feel you have.
He's going to
pain
have
or
a
feeling
psychosomatic issue.
Oh, there's significantly more episodes of DS9 than TNG because there's a little bit of a discrepancy now.
No, it's just whenever I've had scheduling issues and needed to either do less of a stream or not do a stream, it just happens to be on a Sunday. But that's fine because TNG has movies to go through.
True.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, chat. Thank you, Discord.
Let's see
Sure.
what's next week. Next week, TNG is Lower Decks.
Yeah,
Not
that's a
not
good
the
one.
series Lower Decks, the episode Lower Decks.
Where the Bajoran lady. I never
Yeah,
mind.
with
Won't spoil it.
Sito.
Sito, Jaxa.
Okay. And then Thine Own Self, which is really good. That's where Data loses memory and goes to that weird village with the primitive
Teaches
people.
them science.
Oh, that is a good episode. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
teaches them
discovers
some
the
science.
radiation.
Jaden.
Perhaps it is my name.
Well, the main elements are fire, water, air, and earth.
and
wood
when the
doesn't
village
burn
needed him
because
most,
it contains
Data
fire.
vanished.
The fire is within the wood.
It is not hard because it contains stone.
The stone in the wood can be felt by its weight and hardness. When you burn wood, it becomes smoke, which is part of the air. They're always
What's
there.
after that?
And then I think she says that the wood in water is difficult to see, but the 4 elements are always there.
Oh, I meant
Water
in
and
the
wood.
episode after it. What episode is it?
Oh, what episode? Oh, who cares? The next episode after that is Masks, where it's the Data show. It's
boy.
Data doing like
Oh,
7 different
Is
voices.
It's Corgano.
Corgano. Yes.
That's
And Masaka. Masaka is waking.
Misaka. I love that
a
episode.
very 7th season episode, yeah.
And anyway, next week DS9, so 1 week from now, is Covenant, where Goldukok gets a cult. Then It's Only a Paper Moon, which is Nog's leg and the casino. And Prodigal Daughter, where we meet a brother who reminds me of my brother, and it concerns me. But that's it for today. We're done here.
And
Are we gonna check out the interview
Thanks for
with
showing
the?
cat stream.
Not on stream.
No, you said thanks for showing my cats on stream.
Yes. Everybody loves a cat.
And him said,
Stream's over. Be gone.
Okay.
thank you, chat.
See you later. Well, let's check out that interview where he talks about that exact episode we just watched.